Welcome back to What Remains. It's been a while. Holiday season kind of knocked us off of our spot, but we are back. Since it has been a while, I am going to make sure there's a pretty solid update here, and everybody has a solid understanding as to where they're at. The group arrived in the city of Knock a few days ago, and have been basically just doing city stuff, like getting everything kind of, in order in their minds and in their residences for the people who are natives to the city. There's definitely been some returning of things that were found out in the wild, specifically a strange auto carriage that was returned to House Montoulet. There's been some study, some understanding of what's gone on outside, and some more study is actually being done behind the scenes, and may come to some fruition during their stay. In the middle of that stay, though, at the end of last session, the group, besides Avran, went shopping, picked up some cool items. I believe that Fiona owes Hezrod 50 gold. And also, some cool things were found. I believe that recipe was located, right? Shizo? Yep, and you bought it. And great. Cool. Avran went to House Alustair. And last we were in with him, the house company led him to a courtyard kind of up on the top of the building, where he has been walked out into a very beautiful looking veranda, walked over to a stone table with metal chairs, a very nice spread for a tea session, as per the etiquette of Knock, and its desire to kind of uphold the finery of a tea party. And sitting and now standing across from him is an elderly woman, very old, possibly in her 90s, who stands before him, and she has a look of kind of surprise on her face. She wears simple garments. Avran, you would recognize these as temple garments. They are the garments worn by believers in Atavius. It's mostly a tradition that's upheld by people who are well aware that they are in their end of days, to try and maintain a kind of semblance of order in their life. She has a walking stick. As she stands up, she kind of utilizes it for assistance. You can see that she has, no finery about her, nothing, too opulent, but you recognize her. Despite her age, you can see through it. You can see that you recognize this woman, and this woman is none other than Melody, whose name you presume has changed with her affiliation change, marriage. She looks to you, and she does seem to have similar kind of look of shock and recognition. She then says, "You haven't aged today." Sit, please, she says as she kind of wobbles a bit. And
Yeah, no, he goes right to the seat.
okay.
Um, you remember me?
Of course I remember you. You seem to know who I am, or you wouldn't have sought me out. Why would you think I do not know who you are?
I I don't know what's real. All I've been able to think about is you.
Me? Well, I'm sorry it's been so long. I don't exactly remember much about us. I do remember we had a child together.
We had two.
Are you
Do
sure?
you do you remember any of their names?
Oh, no. Fortunately not. It has been several decades. Music is actually really off-putting.
It really is.
I turned it down a little bit.
It's okay though.
But,
Uh,
you... It was probably two children. I don't remember their names because I know that they passed away. After you died, the reports were contradictory, if I remember, and I didn't exactly know how to honor you because there were so many stories being told about you at the time. You. The Grognard said that you were a hero, and it was you that destroyed the Lich Megier. But the peoples of Liberis and the Arbiters stated that these were lies, propaganda, and in sooth you were killed unceremoniously outside of the gates of the Lich Megier's tower in the capital. Other reports stated that you actually helped the conglomerate escape the Megier's tower and escape retribution for what they had done, while a brave hero named Kelder killed the Magier, actually. Which was it?
all of that, I I don't know. Do
Hmm.
you remember Darren and Sophia?
Ah, yes. I remember them now. Darren left very soon after you died or disappeared. Which was
What
it?
happened?
Oh, he became a squire, headed off to the western borders of the Triumvirate's province. And then, well, I got a letter saying he passed away, fighting some horror or another. And, well, our daughter, I I wasn't very capable during those years. You left me with nothing.
Everyone's gonna grab her. Everyone's gonna grab her hand. You've done all that you can.
She kind of shakes a bit. You're not sure whether the tremors in her hand are a response of age or kind of fear at the touch. But you can see in her eyes like a familiar look, familiar glint. And she kind of meekly kind of pulls her hand away from you. Says, how rude of me. Sorry. Before we continue. And she starts going through the process of preparing 2 cups of tea. And she sets a plate out and a saucer, placing the teacup onto the saucer. And there is one of those, again, my wife does this stuff all the time, and I should know the name of it, but like it's like a caddy that's like filled with food.
Yeah.
It's like
The little cart.
they're like multi-tiered like plates. I don't know what they're called, but my wife has several.
It's just a T tier.
T tier.
Do you?
T tier.
Yeah. Do you need me to get mine?
No, we do not need a visual display. But yeah, T tier. And it has a number of different kind of things on it. You would know that the plate is for those refreshments and the tea that's being served off to you. You kind of smell it, and it has a very familiar scent to you. Um, One that kind of sparks memories that you thought were false and then you thought were ripped from you, but you're kind of seeing them more like keenly. You're also kind of rushed with a flash of kind of understanding too in those moments. You know that your attachment, your emotional attachment to this woman was a lot stronger than it may have seemed at the time. And you're starting to kind of think about that and see that, you know, she seems to be the same. Like, she was with you for a time, but it wasn't the end of the world for her. Like, when you died, she didn't seem to have too much an issue carrying on, if you get my meaning.
Yeah.
She, after preparing everything, she kind of looks to you and says, okay, well, everything's there then. Let's continue. Where did we leave off in our talks?
Our children and
Oh, right. So there wasn't much I had available to me after you died. The Grognard weren't exactly terribly keen on rewarding me, even though they were filled with accolades and words. Oh, he was a hero. He died. He killed the Magier himself. Oh, I see it in the nobility of this city all the time. Praising the people who do actual work, well, not giving a damn about their lives, their problems, and their struggles.
are you the head of the Alistair family?
Of course not, no. No, I married very fortunately. I did that by eschewing a lot of what my past had to it.
Yes.
Our daughter was sold as a bride to a noble in the kingdom of Ignos to the west. Not too far from her brother, I guess. She never sent me a letter after that. But I had very little option.
Hold on. She was sold to a noble in Ignos?
So you would kind of key on the terminology. She wasn't sold like physically like an item. It's more
Sorry. Like
it was more of like a noble
like an arranged marriage.
arranged marriage, correct.
Okay. Alright, given to a noble. In Ignos.
Ignos, yep. There are 3 kingdoms in the country of Osiria. Triumvirate is the official kind of government body. Ignos is the kingdom of fire. It's also known as the ruby-throned kingdom. It's way out there to the west.
That's where my throne is, isn't it?
It is where your throne is, correct. If that's true, yes.
If it's true.
Who knows?
He's gonna. There's a look of pain, a little bit of, anger in his eyes, but when he looks back up at her, it's sort of eased, and the only thing that he could basically say is, "You are still as beautiful as the day I saw you."
She says that she kind of was holding like a pastry, about to shove it into her face. And she kind of thinks twice a bit and blushes lightly, then kind of looks up at you and says, "And you're still as horrible a liar."
I could never lie to you. You know this.
So, of course, you're sworn never to lie. But I understand your questions because it seems that you've forgotten much, but you do not know how it happened, how it came to be that you are so young
Alive
and
here?
so young.
I don't know. All I remember our life, and I remember the things that we shared.
I would be thrown away from Celestia in my death if I were to tell you a lie and say that the flames of our time together were not flickering now, seeing you as you are.
The flame is still bright within me.
It's not meant to be. I am. She raises her left hand, and you can see a ring on her finger. I am beyond that time.
No, and I could never do that to you.
I know. It's also a very strange matter. I have become very brittle with my age. I am not ill or anything, just growing old is something that I've had to suffer. You apparently have avoided.
That may be true, but I felt nothing but loneliness
Mm.
since I've left that day.
She pours another cup of tea and kind of looks to you. What are you doing?
Everyone's just like he's in like peace right now.
What are you doing now?
I am with a group of adventurers.
Sell swords or the heroic types?
A little both.
Interesting.
Not really heroic, more rambunctious.
It's why we were falling away the last time. I saw you. Some cause.
The old guard.
You would actually think back to the time she's referenced. She's been saying the word grognard, which is actually kind of what people who were against the old guard would call them, and probably still do. It's basically just kind of a almost a slur against people who are old guard, like people who are Osirian of the older traditions.
Yeah. It's okay though. That's
Yeah,
his Mel.
if the older traditions had been upheld, there wouldn't be sky rails. There wouldn't be, working plumbing. There wouldn't be stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's fair.
she says, "Well, if you need a patron of swords, I could introduce you to my husband. He has some importance inside of House Alistair. He is the second cousin of the actual host family. The name stays with him and with our children and theirs. So I am not in charge here, or I don't have any power, but my children will."
He's gonna gently place his hand on hers, and he's gonna say, "You've always had power over me, over our children.
Our
It's
children.
fine."
Our children. I don't even know if they're still alive.
You don't have to worry about that.
Well, I know one of them's dead, actually. Sorry.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Darren is unfortunately dead, but Sophia may still be out there.
She may indeed be.
I will look for her. I promise you this.
Just remember the day she left.
What day was it?
Well, the way she looked. So beautiful.
Like you.
Oh no. By that time, my hair was already not great.
Are there any red strands in her hair?
No. Completely white.
Completely white? Okay. It is a difference from what I remember. The bright reds, the angry scowl on your face.
It was strange watching it go from my hair. It was always something that I prided myself on. She kind of banters with you a little bit more beyond that point, but she doesn't really reveal much more beyond that.
No, that's fine. He's trying to catch up.
And you
with
do
her.
spend the remainder of like the afternoon, the tea party situation is not, again, it's not a short affair. It is a very long, drawn out affair of like somewhere in the middle of it, the treats are taken away by butlers and then they come back out with sandwiches and stuff. And then after that's done, there's like a third course of, just kind of desserty kind of things at the end. But a long drawn out process with several different courses of tea. And all in all, like, there's a lot of reminiscing about like the end of your life, like the moments before the end of your life, and you remember why, or you understand why she would have been capable of kind of moving past you. You were very much invested in the old guard. She was very much invested in trying to get away from that. You were very much invested in the greater good. She was very much invested in just surviving. And you fought a lot about that, the politics of that. And so it was easier for her to kind of move past that, which is kind of a blow because,
It hurts because that was everyone's life.
it was something that you cared about. And like you understand now that like it was something that she didn't care about. She did not care about.
At some point, Avran asks her about his siblings.
Your siblings.
Yeah.
She says she didn't keep up with them after you died.
Shit.
Oh, hold on. How dare you do it?
He's here.
The boy.
He's making me have to work. Hate it. I'll fight that guy. I'd lose.
Fight you, bro.
I'd lose. I know I'd lose, and that's fine. Okay with that. Acceptance. That's what it's all about tonight. But yeah.
True that.
But not much beyond that. Do you have anything that you want to ask her specifically before we move on, or?
Mostly, like, if she needs anything from Avran.
She says, look around. Everything I ever wanted is here. This city is majestic. Way better than the slums we were living in Liberus.
Yeah.
I want for nothing. And when I pass, I'll do so comfortably.
I am happy for you. I'm not upset or anything. You've done what you could. You've done the correct thing.
That means...
I love you.
She kind of looks to you and she says, that means next to nothing.
I'm well aware.
But I do appreciate you saying it.
I hope
And
your final moments are peaceful.
I will say, I still love you. And if you were the one who destroyed the Lich Magir, like some say, then you really are a hero. And I'm sorry for trying to hold you back.
This is towards the end, right?
Yeah, the butler comes over and he's got 2 chocolates, look like 2 chocolate mints, on the plate that he's passing out to you as the
I'll take one. Fuck it.
finisher. She kind of, plops it into her mouth and kind of looks over. And you can see that there's a guy who's been standing there the whole time, but you haven't really noticed. Like, not close enough to hear anything, but close enough to kind of like...
Yeah, to know if, like a
she,
bodyguard.
like she needed assistance. He doesn't look like a bodyguard at all.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
No. He looks like a carer. And when she kind of stands up and starts moving with the stick, you can see that he is very close by, but he does not try and kind of help her at all. He's just very close by. If a spill were to happen, you can see he's basically on like the tips of his toes, ready to go. But he's also giving her the dignity of letting her do it. She kind of walks around the table to you and gives you a light bow before moving aside. As they start to kind of make their way back towards the main structure, another individual kind of comes over to the table and says,
as soon as she leaves, he's crying. He's fucking bawling.
You hear a voice then, as you're kind of crying over the table, over your empty plate, and the voice says, Red Normac?
Yes.
Your appointment is concluded. We would like to see you off of the estates. However... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, could I trouble you for a whiskey, ale?
That should not be a problem. And he kind of raises his hand, and a person comes over, kind of says something to them and whisper, finish your beverage, and you know the way out. You have been welcomed here by an esteemed member of House Alustair. If you call upon us, we will answer and make sure that you receive the best of guest care that we can afford you at the time.
Thank you.
This appears to be like the leader of the butlers, by the way.
Yeah. There is an individual that wishes to have an audience at some point. Her name is Fiona.
If she is your compatriot, and you are wishing to bring her to acquire that audience, then we will heed your words and listen to what you request. Whether or not we will honor it depends on the requests, of course.
Thank you.
The other gentleman comes over, kind of sets the glass down. They do not leave the bottle. It is a beautifully neat whiskey in a perfectly just blown glass, sitting there right on the table. And then
before he goes, could I have that bottle, please?
No, there's no bottle. They didn't bring it out. It's in the kitchen.
It's just the glass.
They literally had that guy go off of the veranda.
Yeah.
Get the drink, come out with a single plate with the single cup on it, and lay that out. Napkin first, and then it on top of it. Perfectly.
Gotcha. Okay, he's just gonna down it and put it back. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then he's just gonna walk away and probably head to the nearest bar.
Perfectly fair. Now, I believe there was shopping going on. The tea party probably ends somewhere around like early evening time, actually. So if you want to reconnect with the rest of the group, they've done their shopping. Call stones can be utilized to get those out. And if I recall correctly, Alton got everyone call stones for that purpose. So
yes, he did. Alton, we love you.
However you'd like to reconnect, that would be perfect. Just let me know what you're doing for the remainder of the evening, and then I
think I had a meeting with a cultist.
Oh.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh, that's exciting.
He had a meeting at noon.
That's right.
With an individual.
That's right.
About the hand.
I just remember.
Black hand.
I just remember my notes. Yeah, that is accurate. Okay. So, do you remember the meeting point? I don't seem to have that in my notes. I remember stating it to you though. No, hold on.
Like over here, right?
Yeah, it was a point at the end of the canalway in the park. Okay. So you go there to meet this individual. Eventually you see a person approaching you with some haste. They're wearing black robes, very out of place with the people who've been kind of passing around in the area. And I should probably change the music. This is not working for me. The individual approaches you and very quickly kind of drops their arm to the side, pulls up their sleeve, revealing the tattoo of the bloody angel, and very quickly shifting it back down over their forearm, or his forearm. He looks to you and says, "You were the one that was stated to arrive here."
That's right. It's me.
I'll be completely honest, I saw you in my visions, but I was not expecting the voice that you've projected. Definitely an oddity. Are you from outside of the city then?
I'm from a small town. The country.
Have you had any encounters with the charlatans?
We executed a great deal of them over by the cliffs. Some kind of cliffs.
This is fortuitous news. The more of them that die, then the less likely that their machinations will be allowed to persist. They wish to draw down a very large amount of attention to the practices that happen here in the city. You see him kind of stop and look over his shoulder, and you're pretty sure you see like a Alistair Watch, member of the Alistair Watch, kind of walking around. He kind of stops, looks over to the canalway and starts walking towards it, and he kind of gives you a look like, follow him. And I'm assuming you do?
Yeah.
Okay. If you do, he just walks straight off of the edge of the canalway and falls into the water.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Once he kind of hits the water, you see him kind of swim back inwards towards the canalway, and you can see he's starting to pull himself up into what appears to be a sluiceway, where water kind of spills out into the canal from the center of the city. And he then kind of walks a good distance. At any point, do you kind of ask him any questions, or you just follow unquestioningly?
Where are we going?
He says in response. And as he kind of gets into the darkness, you see his hands kind of erupt with light. He kind of looks back to you, closes the light out, says, "Can you see beyond?"
What does that mean? Do I have
Dark vision.
I can see beyond.
He kind of lets the light fade from his hand, kind of dropping it onto the ground, and then continues to walk. The two of you in darkness walk through this weird kind of waterway, and eventually come to a point where there's a very massive kind of drop. Oh, what the heck? A very massive drop off where like water seems to be spilling into an underground kind of chasm. It's all worked stone, mind you. It looks like this is an actual like desired effect, not some weird, strange, like earth cleft or anything. It's all worked stone. And there's a passageway that seems to go around the outside of this kind of open wellway. And he leads you down it. It goes underneath the water at some points. And then he continues leading you places. I need you to make a perception roll.
Oh no. That's a 20.
Very good roll. Very good roll. So you remember your way back. Like if you needed to get here again, you could get here again. And if you wanted to leave this place, you could also get back to where you came from. Eventually he comes to just a stone wall that's on a very small kind of ledge that stands 10 feet over a massive flow of water. And you have to guess that you're probably somewhere around 100, maybe 150 feet under the surface level of the park. He places his hand on the stone. You see him kind of move his hands in an arcane pattern. You recognize the spell that he's casting as Prestidigitation, specifically leaving a mark on the stone. And once the mark is placed, the wall just disappears. Entering into kind of a smaller, or entering into a kind of larger, actually, than the passageway that you're in, open space. He leads you inside, and a couple of individuals wearing similar robes to him brandish daggers, and you see him kind of raise his hands. Once he enters in, he starts pulling off his robe, and you can see that his undergarment, or his clothing underneath, is kind of like dark in coloration, just very simple. But as he's kind of pulling the robe off and spinning it around, you recognize that along the edges of the inner lining, this reverse of the cloak, there are these red runes that have been drawn around the edges, which you recognize as the marks of Durin Balcard, but you know that they're a corruption of old Meridian runes. He kind of stops you in this place and says, "You are welcome here. You can pass through as you please, so long as you can find this space again. This is a safe haven for us." There's about 4 other people in there. We have beds. They're a bit damp, but better than sleeping out on the ground. We have some things, some reagents, and provisions. And we have a shrine. And he gestures towards the back of the room, and you can see a very ornate statue of your patron. If you so wish it, you can come here at any point and ask his favor.
Malika is a little bit perturbed because she's never in her life met anyone else that is in service of the patron. She's kind of spooked, and she's never had a shrine to the patron. She's never considered herself to be someone that would worship the patron. But she's gonna play it off. Well, I appreciate your hospitality, and I appreciate a safe place to uh, to adore our Lord. For now, I am traveling with a group that has been highly useful in the execution of the charlatans, as you call them. Uh, I shall return here with more news, or if I need additional support.
You kind of say this to this individual, and he's listening, but he's also kind of looking into the room. You see that there is it's kind of been like in the corner of your eye the whole time you've been telling him that, but you keep on kind of like looking towards it. But kind of sitting in the center of the room is a beholderkin. It's kind of floating there over a chair. Now, beholderkin are not uncommon in the campaign setting, by the way. There are actually beholderkin that are playable as a race in one of the books that I offer. But yeah, this beholderkin is bright yellow, and kind of wearing a robe that's very obviously not a person, but like the cloaked hood and like the robe's kind of sitting on his eye stalks, and it's just kind of hanging in the air.
That's kind of cute.
He kind of looks at you. Does you you killed charlatans? You said, where do they come from?
They were doing some kind of strange ritual in the hills.
Over by Sifford's Pass or somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Dang it! And you see his
Where-
tongue kind of flip out, kind of
Yeah.
like make a whip sound, like it's almost like snapping, but with just his tongue. Dang! I was hoping it would be over there.
Why are you so eager to head towards Sifford's Pass?
Oh, I don't want to go over there. No. I just know there were some charlatans there. I've seen them with my own peepers.
Well, charlatans there doing what?
Well, they were working for some pretty powerful demons. So I assume whatever these false beings are doing is probably, I don't know, it might have something to do with there. I know that there's been activity there. And I know that me and a lot of folks who were living there got pushed out of that town. You see one of the other cultists go, "You're from Siffer's Pass?" And you see the beholder can go, "Ah," and then just disappear. And the cultists kind of look at each other confused. And you see a couple of them start casting spells to see if they can see him. And they go, "No, he's gone."
Wow, is that kind of behavior typical around here?
He's new too. We were given a vision of him.
A refugee, I reckon, from Sifford's Pass.
Yeah, I assume so. You see another person go, "Wait a minute. The vision we got about him was different than the vision about her." Very different, now that I think about it.
Different as it didn't necessarily come from the boss.
You see the third person, who's like the youngest, kind of go, "Oh man, oh geez," like looking very scared. The one that led you down here says, "They're gonna find us now. They know where we're at. We have to relocate."
God damn it.
Well, we'll have to find a new place. Do you have a call stone?
I do.
They tap, if you let them tap, and says, "We'll get in contact with you once we found a new spot. We'll let you know how to get there."
Y'all be careful and try not to make such careless mistakes again.
You see the young guy who's still going, "Oh man," start pulling apart the statue, which appears to just be like, pieces that have been kind of fused together. Like it's almost like a mannequin doll, or mannequin like at a store that's been painted really nice to look like a statue. And he's kind of pulling the arms off and shoving them into a bag, which doesn't look like it should be able to hold them at all. But yeah.
Okay, Malika's gonna gift them 50 gold to
Okay.
help them figure out whatever the fuck they're gonna do, because they're a mess.
Yeah. If you do ask them their names, the three of them, the one who led you down there, he says he doesn't have a surname because he was born on the streets. His name is Vineth, Vinath. The other one that wasn't the one that was super scared, he says his name is Asher. And the one that was super, super scared says his name is Mortimer.
Well, good to meet you, Vinith, Asher, and Mortimer. You can call me the midwife.
The midwife. And you see Mortimer go, "I got that." And then you see Asher go, like, shove him, like, kind of push him, and says, "Midwives help people have babies. It's weird." And then you see Vanath go, "It's fine. We worship." Kind of just like looks like he's gonna smack him, and then just kind of stops, and they say, "Get in contact with you once we find a new spot, a nice safe spot."
All right, I'm headed back.
Yep. And you
Don't
all
do anything stupid.
You all kind of leave. They seem to be going deeper into the sewerway. You seem to be going back out the way you came. You do also notice that there are markings in the tunnelways that are similar to the markings that were on their robes. Old Meridian Runes. Okay, great. Probably a couple hours pass.
Am I able to read that or just recognize it?
They're not words. It's not like a language so much as say. It's more or less kind of like each marking has its own kind of purpose, and the markings that are present in the tunnelways are basically warding magic that deflects divination. So people cannot see into the tunnelways.
Got it. Is Malika able to determine that
Yes.
from looking at him? Okay.
And then the markings that they have on their cloaks mark them as protection cloaks. But yeah, you head back up to the surface. Probably spend some time getting the stink off of you, because it is kind of a smelly musky place down there, and then kind of reconnect with others, I assume? Yes?
Yeah, after that shoddy operation, I need to hang out with my more competent friends.
Slightly more competent friends. Only just. Okay. Where do you all meet up if you're meeting up somewhere?
I was supposed to meet up with Deck and Blackhand at some point.
No, that wasn't a thing that was happening ever.
Oh,
They-
I haven't note in there.
yeah, you want to meet with Deck and Blackhand. Like,
Oh, that's fine.
and he definitely said he will get in contact with you, but that wasn't.
Okay.
I do not believe that was a thing that was going to happen very soon.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
He's like
Cool.
He's the master of the Mardigans in one of the richest cities on this side of the world.
He busy.
He ain't that busy.
when he calls upon you, if you don't go see him, you don't get to see him. That's literally how that's gonna go.
That's cool.
Yeah, you were also wanting to get training from him, which is what you'd requested from your crew.
Yes.
Okay. Where do you meet up? What do you guys do?
The parents' place to go drink.
Okay.
That's where I'm at, anyways.
I assume that Goradier's probably spent the morning just chilling, listening to the gossip.
I think Fiona wants to speak with the woman, the older woman, but I don't know if she'll actually
Which older woman?
get an appointment. Yeah.
Melanie.
Melody.
No.
Oh. That would be something that Avra would have to coordinate. If you're just wanting to meet for a quick talk and not actually go through like a tea process.
Yeah, not like a tea. She just wants to. Well, Melanie is the one with the staff, right? Like with the.
She just had a walking stick.
Oh, okay. So she's not her then. She wants to meet with whoever
No,
is the
House.
head and has access to that weapon that can.
Yeah,
break
House
through
Alistair has that weapon.
House Alistair has that weapon.
Alistair. Oh, okay, I thought she has. Okay.
She
Sorry.
is, but she's not important.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we put something out on the table here again, just to make sure like you understand the scope of these spaces. The city is population wise somewhere in like the millions. Okay, like
San Francisco.
multiple millions.
Mhm.
Each of the houses, there's 10 of them. Each of the houses is like a corporation that runs the area of the town that they are like centered in. So House Alistair, there are some people who have the Alistair name, which she is one of them. Not all of them are important. It's like trying to think of a family that you would know individuals about and understand some of them suck compared to other ones.
Like
The
the Kardashians.
The Kardashians.
Oh,
The
Like
Kardashians.
you're talking to Chloe.
Well, no, you're not even talking to Chloe. Whatever's below a Chloe, that's
Whatever's
that's what
below
Melody
it.
is.
You're talking to
talking to-
Chloe's cousin.
You're talking to Robert Kardashian.
You're talking to
Something, yeah.
Robert
I feel
Who's
Kardashian.
like she
Robert
would probably-
Kardashian?
Like,
Exactly.
because she's House Alistair, though, she would probably try to speak with her or like with anyone who she could get an in with, and ask if they could set up a meeting with.
Well, Melody had offered to Avran during the tea party that she could potentially get him an appointment with her husband. And if you do the thinking about it, because you're a pretty savvy individual, you don't like the politics and all of the bullshit, but you are aware of it, you would be able to determine that her husband is Royce Alistair, who is
Who's a bitch.
second cousin to the primary family of Alistair. He is well taken care of, but his title of admiral in the Nokian Navy is more or less just an honorific. He doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Would she know if someone in his position, though, even if he is just like a figurehead, would have potential connection?
Yeah, he's an
Like-
admiral. Like, I mean, he probably knows
Okay.
people. But yeah, he's 90, so like a lot of the people that like he is affiliated with are going to kind of take his requests with like a grain of salt because he's old. And that's how people treat
Classic.
old people.
Great. I think she'll still try to press her luck and see if, by some miracle, he'll be able to set up an appointment.
Okay.
You can always try your halfling child.
This is my son. Wait, what does this have to do with anything? But yeah, you return back to the tavern. Her parents are, just engaged in a normal night's activity. There's a few more people than there were last time, and they're not kicking them out for you anymore. Because we gotta make cash.
That's fair. That's fair.
But it's a relatively slow evening.
I don't know how late Averin would have showed up, but he reeks of booze.
Oh, you did go drinking. Okay.
Yes, indeed. It was a sad day.
What ails you, my friend? Why are you so sad?
Women!
Yeah,
My hat.
yeah. Yes, that is true.
Women.
I
What,
like it.
what ails you? Ails.
Get out. No,
Did you
I'm
get
kidding.
it?
That was great.
I'm taking the rest of the week off.
All right, do that.
Good joke.
Wait, no, you can't take the rest of the week off. What about tomorrow?
Tomorrow is important. But yeah. I assume, despite your drunkenness, Fiona and you work together to kind of coordinate on what you're planning there. And
Yeah.
anybody else have anything that they want to discuss in the evening time, or do you want to move to, I believe it's day 4 of downtime activities? There's one more day after that, and then Avram will be officially capable of utilizing the stance Bafidal's training them.
Chad, are you trying to talk?
Oh yeah, you did.
Have you been trying to talk this whole time? Because if you have, we haven't heard of it.
Oh
Not
no.
this, not this whole
Here.
time, no. Only recently. But
Okay.
I was listening intently.
That's perfectly fair. What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, I was just, you said it was what? We're going into day 4?
Yeah, day 4 is tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what Hezrod did with his days. So it was like day 1, he went out drinking and got super tanked. I guess
Mhm.
day 2, he was hungover and didn't do a whole lot.
Day 3 was
Maybe
shopping.
yeah, so day 3, yeah, so, okay.
Day 4 is...
Well, I don't really want to bog the party down by getting any more training in. And I already bought everything I want to buy. So I guess Hezrod's just going to hang out with the others.
perfectly fine.
What is it,
Oh,
stance?
also, no, wait, I had a thing for this. He would have like basically put the word out. Here, you know what? I'm gonna send you a thing on Discord. But yeah, I mean, for
Fight Club?
the short answer is Hezrod's gonna stick with everybody.
Okay.
Did we ever check out that alleyway that during any of these days that all those occultists murdered somebody? I vaguely remember this.
Oh, well, kind of on that note, because I think this might be what you're talking about. Fiona would want to look into the Shinayoro Kengo, or is it Kenjo?
Kengo.
Kengo. Yeah, because they were the ones that killed Eric. But also she just like she knows about them a little bit. She knows they're not good people.
Yeah.
This wasn't a random thing that they did.
Okay. So you're going to do some investigation into that. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfectly
Any
fine.
means necessary.
Gordier, are you doing anything particular tomorrow?
Bade.
Bade. All right. And Avram, what are you doing? Oh, training. Okay.
Yeah, training
and
and
then,
drinking.
Can't do both. One or the other.
All right, training.
And
Fight your feelings out. Fight your feelings out. What do we do with our emotions?
okay, I do not. So I just want to make sure I do not have the actual what a potion of advantage does because I don't have that book yet because I haven't got it yet because Christmas.
Gives you advantage, duh.
But I have made a template base of a recipe. They were uncommon potions, so 250 gold is how much the potion's worth, and 175 is how much it takes to make one. So, all right, great.
Yes.
So, whatever you're doing for day 2,
Day 4.
day 4, I'm bad at numbers and math.
Okay.
You do those things. Fiona, you do some investigation regarding the Kengo. Um, uh, make a intelligence check.
Ooh. Okay. All
Just
right.
raw intelligence.
Just straight up intelligence. Gotcha. Do. Let me see. Is my token selected?
11 is what you got. You, for lack of, I'm letting you understand as a player, so you understand what that role is about, and letting you understand how it's going. Besides, Fiona does not strike me as a streetwise individual. So you are literally just going to the people you know and asking them, getting connections, moving into those kind of conversations with people, and yeah. It's very clear out of character note, and it will become clearer to Fiona later that these questions aren't going unnoticed. The information you glean, however, is actually useful. So you would recognize from what you're being told by trusted scholars, people who are friendly with your mom and your dad, individuals who are kind of in the know, that the Shinoyoro Kengo is a gang, one of a number of gangs that exist inside of Nock. It's more specifically an organization. They are based out of the province of Saria, which is to the south, also known as the Lands of the Blue Dragon. And they are as close to an equivalent in a fantasy setting that you can get for a Yakuza-like structure system. They are very focused on violence as a remedy to most of their problems. And their most noted violence dealers are individuals known as blade-blooded. And they are basically assassins who are really, really, really good at killing. You know that they're also rare. Most of the violence jobs go to people who are not considered blade-blooded. You do hear that there was a blade-blooded in the city who goes by the name Ashuna. According to what you're able to learn here, is she's very sought after, but rumors are that she has been taken by the Mardigan family and killed. The Mardigan family being another gang that exists in the city, and you would know that Alton has affiliation with the Mardigans. The other thing you're hearing is that the Kengo, from what you understand, has been putting out notices looking for an individual named Estelle. And the name Estelle should pop in your head, because that's the name of Gloridir's wife.
Yes. I do remember that. Okay. Interesting. The Mardigans aren't like necessarily known for killing though, are they?
They are not murderers, but they do murder.
Right. That's what I thought because I have kind of a list of like
Yeah, the Mardigans are a little bit more spread out in their like thieves guild like activities, whereas the Kengo is specifically focused on strong arming and murder.
Okay.
Whereas the Mardigans do, like regular thieves guild stuff like fleecing, black markets, stealing
Yeah.
from the rich, giving to the poor, this kind of thieves guild shit.
So hearing that it's the Kengo that are after Estelle.
Correct.
Right?
They've been putting out feelers to find a woman named Estelle. That's all you got from that. You don't know if it's the same Estelle, but Estelle is not a very common name.
Okay, so that would fuel two things to happen. One, she would talk to Golridir about see if there's any potential there. If he knows anything about them. And she would also go to Alton and ask about if he knows anyone that would know anything about that situation with the kidnapping and potential murder.
Okay. Well, Alton, what were you doing with your downtime?
I was trying to investigate the occultist murders in the alley and everything that you said was happening,
Okay.
and then just kind of keeping in touch with everyone, reporting back to the party of what I found in the Steel District. That my favorite bar, that got shut down.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead and give me an investigation check for that.
all right, hold on. It's going to be probably super low, I guarantee it.
Well, nobody's gonna. I mean, it's not that bad, actually.
I can't even see it.
23 is what you got.
Awesome.
So what you're learning is it seems that there are a number of these cults that have kind of taken on cells. The Mardigan family is well aware that their operations in the Steel District were present and has done everything in their power to scourge them from their territory. What you understand, though, is that the city is built on a very massive complex of tunnelways, empty space, old underground cities that were placed here by a very old cult known as the Meridian cult. The Meridian cult worshipped a god, so they called it, but in actuality, it was the first mortal that was born from the warring triumvirate. That mortal eventually ascended to become Aloane, the goddess of life and death. But according to their tomes and histories, that deity that they worship is actually an entity known as Aloane ex Magere, also known as Alonusero, a deity of pure death. Because when the law of death was signed and forged by the other members of the warring triumvirate to put balance on life, and she was placed into the triumvirate, the cultists believe that that individual escaped from the triumvirate, the actual mortal being, and the thing that rules with that person's name and history isn't actually that original mortal. It's something else, a different god, a different entity. Yeah, they're kind of insane, but during the second era and third era, when Osiria was kind of building up, they were hiding away from people who would prosecute them for their beliefs. And so a lot of their old remnant cities and structures are present all throughout Osiria. Some are not as obvious as the ones here in Nock, and are harder to find. Based on your understanding of what goes on in the Undercity, there's probably like nooks and crannies all throughout it that would be impossible to map. The only people who might have an idea outside of the Steel District are House Harrigan and their sewer watchman, and possibly House Calyx. They do have desires or ends on keeping the city clean.
All right. Would it be worth my time to go find these sewer watchmen, or not?
You can at least meet with them. So they would be at House Harrigan, which is also in the Steel District.
Okay.
I don't think this group has dealt with House Harrigan before, but when you get there, the building is very massive, very ornately structured. It has a very I can't think of the name of the art style. It's not Deco, it's the other one.
Gothic?
Nouveau.
No, it's not Nouveau. It is Deco. My brain did the
Oh, okay.
thing backwards. It's very Art
The
Deco.
geometric one or the woo 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 woo
Very
one?
geometric, straight lines, lots of kind of like sharp
Deco.
edges. It's very much a building. And there are people who are in line who look like they had the soul sucked out of them. It looks like they're moving into the building. There seem to be some attendants who are walking past who are very cheerful and like absolutely out of character compared to the people who are in line, talking to them, making sure that they have papers and are filling out papers all throughout the line walking. One of them sees you. Are you standing in line or do you stay out of line?
So, what is this line for?
If you ask one of the attendants, they say, "Oh, of course. House Harrigan has a number of different offices within it. We have plenty of departments, departments that handle all sorts of things, including licensing, cleanliness."
I knew it.
Start-
I knew it. It's the BNV.
Listing off a bunch of different things. Listing off a bunch of different things, and you kind of go, your eyes kind of glaze over, and you understand the pain of the people in front of you. Go ahead.
Where's the sewer watchman line? I just need to talk with one of them, or I just go find one.
Oh, perfect. Great. Someone who actually knows the department they're looking for hands you a piece of paper and a quill and says, "Please just fill out the first section there quickly, and I can take you right there right now." I don't think there's many people in line for them at this moment.
Awesome. I fill it out to the best of my knowledge.
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence. Oh, great. Boom. Public roll. I got a 20 on
Nice.
it.
Well, that was a save, but yeah, it's still high enough. You are smart enough not to leave a paper trail. So you don't put Alton Diggle. You put a different name and different information that you just make up pretty much on the spot and hand that to them. And they go, "We'll make sure to get this filed. Come with me." And they lead you inside. You move through the lines, and this is kind of like a congested space that's very kind of claustrophobic. You're then moved through some like bureaus and areas, looks like office space, and then you eventually come to a door, wooden, with a glass panel in the center, and the glass panel says, Department of Sewer Maintenance, Watch, and Kemptness. This individual opens the door for you and gestures for you to enter inside. As you pass into this space, you see kind of like a middle-aged half-elf sitting.
I was going to say, is it a sloth?
No,
From Zootopia.
it's not. There's a middle-aged half-elf who's kind of sitting at a desk, looks up at you, and says, "Oh, hi." Puts out a cigarette into an ashtray and kind of looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, just trying to get some information about some stuff going on in the Undercity.
Oh, this is about cults again, isn't it?
It is.
Are you with law enforcement? You see him
No, I'm not.
reaching into his desk reforms. Oh, vigilante?
Nope, not a vigilante. Just a concerned citizen, sir. Just a concerned citizen.
I don't have paperwork for that, so I don't know how I'm supposed to track this conversation.
We don't need to track it. I slide him like 3 gold.
He looks down at it, then looks back at you. A valiant effort.
Would you like more, good sir?
He kind of pulls a cigarette out of his bureau, kind of places it on his lips. He picks up a pretty strange looking device, pulls like a lever on it, it lights a flame, and then he kind of sets that back onto his desk and he says, "See that lighter there? That device?
Yes.
The fuel in it costs 5 gold.
All right, I'll give you 7 gold.
I really don't think you understand.
I give him 20 gold and that's it.
We're talking."
Okay.
He
I am a cheapskate.
kind of looks at you. "So what do you want to know?"
So what has been going on with these occultists? Do you know where they're hiding out down in these?
We don't know where they're hiding out. We've been asked a couple of times. A couple of our watch patrols have been found to go missing in and around what we now know to be the center of this disturbance tavern up on the surface side known as the Crystallis. But basically it seems that there are a number of different passageways that web out from its point above the canalway and descend down into the city. Sewer watchmen that were maintaining that area have noticed that there are a iconography indicating former Meridian cells hold-up spot, which is important when trying to track these cults because they kind of bar people from being able to detect them through magical means. So we can't just move this over to, House Digot for information or, yeah. We have expressed interest in incorporating Sereda into the efforts. However, they...
What is Araya?
Sereda is one of the 10 houses. It's the
Okay.
It's the main guardian house.
Gotcha.
He says, unfortunately, due to the nature of issues arising on the western side of the Broken Blade Coast, House Sereda has been unable to allow any of its members to assist us in this. This is a trivial or trite matter compared to a city being wiped off the map.
Gotcha. Is there any way I can get access to these tunnels?
Yeah, most of the canalways have access points.
Okay. I didn't know if I need a key, if it's locked or anything.
We have indicating notation, and we do have locked gates at specific points that would be easier to kind of ferret to, mainly just to bar people from, entering in. You see him kind of reach into his desk and pull out a key, tosses it onto the table. You can see that it's a key blank. It is not an actual, cut key. And he says, that should open it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, if there's any other information you can give me, that would be most appreciated. If not, I'll let you get back to your day.
I will let you know. He kind of reaches into his paperwork again, his bureau, and pulls out a piece of paper and sets it out in front of you. If you're interested in finding our missing patrols, you fill that form out there. Could reward you 500 gold per patrol.
All right, I'll
If you
fill out the information.
If you find them in a less than
stature.
rescuable state, and you're able to bring back any indicators, specifically their paperwork, we will go ahead and reward you half of that 500 per patrol.
Okay. Cool. I'll take the paperwork.
You take the next 20 minutes filling out the paperwork. Do you fill it out with your actual information, or do you keep in mind if you present for reward, they're going to ask you for your identification. Right.
Ooh. Oh man.
Now, if you'd like, you could try and spend your last day of downtime activity getting a false identification that matches the paperwork that you're making, if you really want to get into it, but that's up to you.
Ooh. I think my uncle could probably help me out with that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as long as your fake ID says McLovin.
Let's do that.
Okay. So you fill it out with false information, and then you're done there. Do you want to try and investigate anything more beyond that in and around the Crystallis area, or do you want to save that for another day?
I'll try to do the best that I can during what time is it right now?
It's still day. This is your downtime activity, so it's still the middle of the day.
Yeah, I'll just start looking around the Crystal area and
Crystals.
see what I can see. No, I want to name it Crystal now.
It's not a fancy champagne, no. Anyway, you're able to find a number of the entryways that he had mentioned, and you do also notate the markers that he had indicated. Strange runes that appear to be present on the kind of areas around the tunnelway as it kind of leads into it. But you very quickly identify that the tunnelway beneath, it's literally a maze of just lefts, rights, downs, ups, different passageways, ladders, into tunnels that descend down. There's absolutely every chance of getting lost in here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down there.
And you're not you're not going too far into the place, I assume. So
no.
You know that they are if they're down here, pretty well hidden.
All right. I'll use my soul stone to contact my uncle, see if I can get false paperwork. And then kind of
that'll be tomorrow's activity. Because this is day 4. And then sorry, Malika, what was your downtime activity for today? Muted.
So I've offered.
There.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was
I would
weird.
have
Yeah, we can hear
offered
you.
everyone the opportunity for a to get a potion of advantage. So it gives you advantage. So basically, for an hour, you have advantage once. So it's like kind of like having inspiration for an hour.
Interesting.
If
You're
anybody
giving
wanted to
one.
buy one
Oh.
of those for 200 gold,
Sorry, that's a
That's
bit steep for
expensive.
my blood. Yeah.
nobody. Okay, so we'll hold on to
I
that.
just missed everything.
See, you should have
Oh,
saved some for the potion.
dang it! I should have hit
Um,
screen cap. That was so perfect. Sorry. Continue, Zizo. Sorry.
so, that's it for
Okay.
now.
Okay. And then day 4 for Hezrod. I believe you sent me something. Double checking.
I did. So that would probably be like spread out across day 3 and day 4.
Okay.
Sorry, it was just stuff I compiled, so that's like pretty much everything all in one paragraph.
I would say then, just to simplify, the first paragraph can be handled in just roleplay with Elizabeth.
Right.
If you want to
I
go
didn't
ahead.
know where everybody was at though.
Yeah.
Also, she was in the middle of something else.
Yeah, she's going to tell you that you need the body.
Well,
For
we know. I know where the body's at.
okay. Yeah, so she would tell you that would be required.
Yeah.
And
So the plan is to get the means and take it to the body.
fair. I believe Raise Dead is a 3rd level spell. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Maybe 4th level. Maybe 5th level. I don't know. It's been a while. 5th level. So Raise Dead is a 5th level spell. It costs 500 gold pieces worth of diamond to utilize it, to actually cast it, which is consumed in the casting. Golridir doesn't really know many priests around here, I would assume. Unless you know
Probably not.
Unless you know a guy.
Right. Oh well, Hezrod doesn't know a guy.
It'd be really hard to justify Hezrod knowing a guy.
Yeah. Like, right now, the guy he knows is Alton. So, I guess it's like maybe Alton introduces Hezrod.
I would say that that your inquiry of Golridir is probably inquired as Golridir is like spa engaged.
Right. Oh, okay.
Elizabeth,
Now I definitely
Hezrod's
want
going
roleplay
to the
this.
spa.
Now I definitely want to roleplay this.
Elizabeth, what
I mean,
what state does Hezrod find you in? Oh gosh, there it is. Everybody's freezing up for no reason. I got
oh
it.
no!
So it's like
I
this.
got him.
Yeah, so Hezrod has this idea and this plan, and he's like, I need to talk to Golridir. Like, Golridir knows how to fix people.
Like probably like neck deep in like a mud bath or something. Like, I mean, he's
amazing.
just like spawning it up.
Are there
He's got like the
cucumbers?
Yeah, he's got the cucumbers over his eyes and
Like a
a glass
fireball
of
this?
wine in his.
So,
Just-
okay. So Hezrod finds the spa. He finds the spa. And he's like, oh, there it is. And he just just barges in and starts like walking past everybody, like looking, like, Golridir, where are you? Golridir,
and
I need
probably
something. I
points
have a
to him.
question.
What?
So they point to Golridir, and Golridir's chilling in like a mud bath. Hezrod doesn't know what a mud bath is, so he just walks right in and like wades into the mud bath to talk to Golridir.
Golridir, tell him to put on some cucumbers.
Says, oh,
Put these on
Golridir,
and lay down.
Golridir, there you are. So
Take it, peels them off. What? Sorry.
oh, were you in the middle of something?
Relaxation, yes.
Oh,
Do you want to join? I can get you some cucumbers and some wine if you want to join. Might be a little crowded in this, but
yeah, the only
they
part
have
of that
more.
makes sense to him is wine, so he's like, sure.
Waves a hand.
An attendant comes over.
Okay.
Just add another, please.
Of
Like
course.
Hezrod's still got like
Another
a bunch of
package, thank you.
his gear on. He's got like his clothes and shit. Like he doesn't get it, but he's like, okay.
Golordir is neck deep, and underneath that
Yeah.
mud, he is starkers.
So Hezrod starts describing to you. He's like, so the sea hags we found.
Mm-hmm.
I killed one of them.
Yes, I
That
remember.
was
It was sad.
that was a mistake.
Agreed.
I wish to undo it.
Hmm.
How could I bring the sea hag back to life?
Well, I can't do that, but perhaps we could find someone. I've
Okay.
heard that it can happen before.
Good. Yes, let's do that, but maybe not tell the others just yet.
Of course.
She hurt Avran pretty bad.
This is true. Well, she was mad, and I don't blame them.
Right, exactly. See, you understand.
Yes.
Good.
They didn't know
I
where
feel
they
better
were.
now.
They've been getting tortured. I would be mad too.
And there are
honestly.
more of these cultists, these followers of the Lady of the Deep, here in the city.
Well, we need to find them. What if
Oh.
there's more of those sea hags?
His eyes like go wide, like he hadn't thought of that. He's like, oh, we really need to find them.
Yes.
I would say that the next bit of your blurb would be you'd contact Alton, and Alton, this is day 4 for you, and so the same thing happens for Alton, but I need you to reimagine it as if there's a massive merfolk behind you the whole time. And then
Just like, let's do a little bit of Photoshop work here.
Yeah, it's just like
a little bit of Control C and Control V.
it's just big old friggin' shaved teeth. But if there's anything you want to have interjected in Alton's bit, like if there was any point that you would have interjected and you can think back on, then that would have been something that you could have done. And then when you go and investigate into the tunnelways, Hezrod, there's one addition that's different. The entire place smells off to you. And you realize that it's the runes that are on the kind of stone that seems to be causing that. And when I say off, I mean like you're familiar with the scent of the sea, you're familiar with the scent of the land, you're familiar with like, you know, the scent of the world as it stands. That smells different.
It's like ozone.
Yeah.
It's like walking into a room and something is just like emitting this like chemical odor.
Yes.
Mm.
But
And
it's not something
Alton can't
it's
smell
not something Alton's detecting. It's very much something Hezron is detecting.
And so those letters don't mean anything to me.
They are not letters, they just appear to be weird picture like glyphs.
Right. I'm sorry, what was like the context? Where did he find those?
Inside of the tunnels that are underneath the city, specifically in and around the Crystallis bar.
Okay, so he had only like really just barely poked around down there.
Right. Yeah, he's
They're,
not
like,
he's not
right
going
down
deep. You two are basically just like checking it out. There might be a little bit more courage with the two of you together. Like if you want to go deeper, you can. But I would say that you probably are both smart enough, just barely, to not go in there without like the full crew.
Totally.
Okay.
Like we reached the edge of what we consider our comfort zone.
So Dave,
which is fine, but he doesn't like those runes. Can he reach them?
Yeah, but you can't augment them. You very quickly learn.
Okay.
You can't
even though
scrub
I
them
like
off or anything.
Slash the shit out of them with the axe. Like,
yeah, you bet. It doesn't seem to do any damage to the runes proper.
We need someone here.
Yes, Fiona. Fiona will know what to do.
Fiona's the smart one in the bunch.
Now,
oh yes, she is.
A really good like moment. They're talking about Fiona, and then it snaps to Fiona and her day 4 downtime. Was there anything in particular, Josie, that you wanted to do with Fiona that day?
I got a question. Did
Okay.
Fiona, since we were talking about her
No,
right then?
it was just it was certainly just a cinematic situation.
Shoot.
Fiona itches her
She just
ear.
sneezes.
Just like trying to find out more about the Mardigans, and like I said, talking to Glordir about his wife.
So after Hezrod gets out, maybe like 30 or so minutes pass, and you realize you're going to be on the hawk for another, mud bath that isn't even going to be utilized because Hezrod just rushed off. But you don't care. Then Fiona would find you there after having contacted you and you telling her where you were. Unless you want to do it over the phone, that's perfectly valid too.
Oh, shit, it
Up
didn't
to
even
her.
call. It didn't
Okay,
even occur to call Fiona from the sewer.
Fiona, how do you want to go in and meet with Golridier in person or just call?
Do you want a free mud bath?
I feel like she'd probably kind of hover in the doorway
Okay.
and go in person. Yeah.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
When you do see Golridier, it's very easy to tell that he is stark naked underneath the mud. I mean, the outline of his body is very suggestive. And
Valium. Valium the Great.
You can see that there's a disturbance around Gorodier's spot. You can also see footprints, which look pretty familiar. You can tell that Hezrod was here. I'm pretty sure Fiona has that, the Hezrod sense. Hezrod fucked this up. Hezrod caused this to be dirty. This is Hezrod's fault.
There's just footprints leading out to the door.
You're standing at the
There's like
door.
a splash on one side and just like footprints leading up the other.
You're standing at the door with Gordier still engaged in rare relaxation. Go ahead.
Yeah. She just kind of like awkwardly knock. Sorry to disturb your whatever it is you're doing. But honestly, I heard some disturbing. I'm sorry. Can you put on a towel or a your wife's name is Estelle, right?
Estella, yes.
Right.
Grabs one of the probably like clean towels and just like drapes it over the
mud.
the mud. Just I can't really do more than that.
She just kind of like turns bright red and just nods awkwardly and walks over to like the opposite end of the room, averting eye contact as she moves and talks. So unfortunately, this probably isn't a great time to tell you this when you're covered in mud and naked, but okay, your wife, she might be killed.
What? His urge
have you
to
heard
stand
of
up is very strong.
Did you say stand?
Just do it. Just do it.
She what?
She what?
What would be funnier is if it happened and the towel somehow perfectly caught
On his Adonis-like
Do it,
abs.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Continue.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so she just like awkwardly sputters through the story and mentions, I don't know if you've heard of the Ishinoyoro Kengo, but they've apparently put on a hit on your wife. I don't know why. Do you know anything about them or this?
Well, I try and keep out of her affairs, but that doesn't sound good. Definitely need to find her and see what shit she's done this time. I can be out of this bath in about 5 minutes and clean and dressed.
Now.
And we can discuss this further when I'm closed.
Right.
Uh,
Yes. The second you say that, she's already like toward the door,
she's like out the door.
heading out. She's like, yes, I'll meet you. Wine, beer. I'll meet you down there with drinks.
Great.
Bye. Slams the door.
You reconvene in the kind of like refreshment lounge of the spa. You're out 10 gold for the 2 baths. And yeah, it's pleasant enough space. Continue.
Okay. So why did this person tell you why my wife has a hit out for her, or
No. I hoped that she would have known. You do know that they have a habit of just brutally murdering people, right?
I mean, I do know that much, but why they're going after her, I don't. I mean, I haven't talked to her since she went out on her last mission. And
What,
that's why I left, is because she's been gone for so long, and of course she'd have a hit out on her coming back. Usually it's not like this.
like awkwardly pushes more wine across the table. Would she know if they're known for like what kind of hits they're typically known for? Is it more like notable figures or just like anything with money?
I don't care.
King of don't care. Money is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so knowing that, she'd say, honestly, you said your wife was well,
mean,
you never
she's in
really
the-
did say what
She's in the same business.
right, I knew, right, but she's not Kango, right?
No, we have our own.
Oh, good. That would be awkward if she was a brutal murderer. But you do know.
Same laugh. Same laugh.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That'd be real weird. Just like downs the entire thing of wine.
You gonna
Yeah.
drink that?
Thanks for the wine.
She just like fully kind of oblivious to that, thinking just Gordier is drunk.
He's drunk. He's stressed. His wife
Yeah.
is going to be assassinated.
Well, she continues on, and a bit more like quietly now, more surreptitiously, she leans in. Listen, your skills with magic have not gone unnoticed. Obviously, there are many more of them than there are of us, but would you be willing to look into the situation with me? I have my own reasons, but I'm sure that you want to figure out why they want to kill your wife. I'm guessing?
Oh, well, absolutely. Well, it might be easy if I can ever find her. But if she's being hunted down, I'm sure she is more likely to find me than I am her, because she is great at hiding. Which is good, but also bad.
Well, if there's anything I know, it's gossip. So unfortunately, if she's staying in an inn or something, or I should say, fortunately, we should know. Perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Let me ask. And she immediately stands up and goes to talk to her mom and see if she's heard of
Rumor mill.
Wait. You want to make a wisdom saving throw?
Ooh. Wisdom save. Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh sheesh. Let's see.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Just say, oh sheesh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's this momentary kind of like a bit of fear as you feel a ringing and kind of like hear a noise, but then you very quickly realize it's just your call stone and someone seems to be trying to get in contact with you. And when you look down to it and check, it does appear to be Alton trying to reach you.
Okay.
Had you failed that, you'd be like, oh, they're here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she would like open up or I don't know.
Activate it. Alton. They are not flip phones. There is one that is canonically a flip phone, but yeah.
Mhm.
It's not that one.
The shell.
Hello! I don't know why I called her. But
You said no. Hold on. Just to backtrack, you said that you were going to try and contact Fiona after you saw the ruins because you said you
oh
needed
yeah,
someone.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, just making sure I didn't hear that
Fiona,
wrong.
Fiona, Hezrod and I need you. You hear Hezrod
Right.
in the background. We found these ruins, and
No,
Hezrod
because
says
you're
they
muted.
You're
speak.
muted. You're muted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, yeah. He says, we found these runes, and Hezrod says, they smell weird!
What? All right. Where are you?
We're at my bar that I frequented whenever I was here. Bring the party.
Wait. What?
What was
What?
that place called?
What?
The Crystallis or something around
Crystallis.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right there on the map.
I'm terrible with
Oh.
names.
Yeah.
Should kind of think about that for a second. Is that frequented by your family?
Just me. Just me.
Just you, so not any Mardigrins, perhaps, would be present.
No,
I guess I
the
think
bar's
the
been
truth.
shut down
Right.
because of the occultists that disrupted underneath my bar.
Oh, she'll kind of like taking that little last factor in. She'll turn to Gorodir. All right, well, I guess we should go deal with that. All right, well, we'll meet you there soon. Quickly, does the name Estelle mean anything to you?
Stella.
Stella.
Stella mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Would I know anything about that, John?
Due to your profession, possibly. Go ahead and make a history check if you have it. Intelligence rate. Yeah, history check.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
Probably.
12. I don't know anything about it.
Nope.
Can I give him my inspiration?
Yep.
Inspiration.
Is that happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Estella, you recognize the name. You would know that the Mardigans have some hitters. You are one of them. The Kengo has a lot more of them. The Red Daggers used to, but according to everything you learned, they don't exist anymore. There's a gang known as the Green Daggers who don't really deal in assassination due to their main attempt at it entering the business being botched so horribly that they kind of have a reputation for being really bad at it. The joke, the name that they have, the moniker Green Daggers, was because they said that our blades will be covered with poison, and it's become now a joke that they are green as in like novice or like, you know, wet behind the ears, the not so good daggers. Jokes. That's also fair. But yeah, the other gangs in the city don't really do much in the assassin game, but you know that there are organizations for assassins who are much older and much better at it than you are, and you would know that there's a group in the Mare Enclave of Elves to the north that follow the Minas part of Assassinorium, dating
All
back
right.
to the War of Sword and Serpent.
I relay all that information. I mean,
All of it?
not all of it, but just bits and pieces, you know.
I'm
But
guessing-
I do ask, why is this name so important to you?
Oh, as you asked that, she's already like stood up and put on her coat and getting ready to leave, and kind of nodding to Gorodir to hopefully do the same. And just kind of turns to them at that point and does like actually she pauses for a moment, and in your head, Gorodir, you hear, I don't know how much you wanted to talk about your wife. Maybe you want to answer that?
I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong. Minros School. Minros School of Assassinorium.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
Answer what?
I might have said Minas.
Yeah, you did.
Talking about Estella.
Was
Wh-
I
what-
was
You're
I
on the-
within?
You're on the stone.
Was it a three-way call?
It is now.
Oh,
It is
okay.
now.
Well, I mean, I guess technically it was because Hezrod was there too.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it's a four-way.
Yeah, like we were both
Oh.
sitting there having our conversation, and then this loud stone appeared, and he
Okay.
started talking. So I'm
Right.
assuming he heard everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the
Hezrod's like,
question that I was
"Is that
supposed to-
Golradir? Say
Hey!
thank you for the mud bath. It was very relaxing."
You still had at least 30 minutes on that, but you're welcome.
So I guess whenever you get here, I'll just ask you the question about Estella, since you're kind of circling around it. So
Fiona just kind of like, again, kind of pauses. Honestly, it's more a lead than anything else. You've heard of the Kengo, right?
yes, they are a mighty assassin group that I don't deal with that. I'm a heavy hitter, but I'm not. I don't like to assassinate people unless they pay me lots of coin.
The second you
So-
said you're a heavy hitter, her face kind of like shifts a bit, and it's not that she looks like angry, but it's more of like a
I'm a
Oh.
short guy.
No, it's
Making
more
fun
of
of my
like
stature?
she just found a really interesting book, and she just
Oh.
kind of pauses for a second. All right, we'll meet you there. Tell me again the address, and as she says that, she's already like heading out the door.
Yeah, it's in the Steel District. You can't miss it. I'll GPS it to you with my flip phone.
Skyrail's easy enough. Do you contact Avren and Malika?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Well, I tell them, hey, just got a hold of Goradir and
This-
Fiona, and they're headed to
This is
me
toward
and Hezrod.
just a note. This is towards the end of the day for activities. So Avren, you would be done with training for today and able to kind of leave with no
Okay.
problem. And Malika, you were making potions today, right?
I wasn't making potions because
Okay.
nobody wanted them, but or no one can afford them.
That's it. Therefore.
But can I?
Hey! We can afford it. Okay.
We're just
Are
cheap.
you trying to
Yeah.
say you don't want them? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they're just too expensive. Okay.
Malika will curse everybody.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Just kidding. Just
Hold
kidding,
on.
just
I'm
kidding.
just a child. I'm a child here, okay?
Hold on. So since you're not making potions, what were you doing for today?
Thank you. So I wanted to.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Make money and midwife.
Okay, so a lot bigger city here, because you are engaging in an activity that could actually have merit here. Go ahead and make a medicine check.
13.
You are taken for a day's worth of work to assist at the hospitals, which you are informed about by Fiona's parents. They kind of give you like a lead in that. But as you are very kind of unfamiliar with working with other people and you aren't terribly, skilled in it, most of the day is actually spent learning. They give you 5 gold pieces.
Son of a bitch.
But you do learn a lot about working along other medical professionals in this.
Okay, cool.
It's a lot different than midwifing in the frontier, where you're taking charge and doing everything. The second you start to try and do that in this setting, they kind of like basically put you off to the side. So yeah. And you see a lot of different techniques used that you weren't familiar with. Because again, science.
Oh, she's
Science
dying.
rules.
Just spare the dying, and that's it.
Oh no, we're losing her. Magic.
Yeah. You're like, wow, I should have been a cleric. No, too many clerics in this party already. Damn it. Never too many clerics. Hashtag cleric crew.
Hey.
That said, eventually you get the call, and I'm assuming everyone convenes at the location, starts kind of entering into the space. Okay.
To the bar. Is there
You
any alcohol
notice-
left there?
Well, not into the bar.
Oh,
You're not allowed access into the bar unless you want to
We're
break in.
outside.
What
Yeah, we're outside.
what you've been doing, Alton and Hezrod, is going underneath it.
I got you.
Through
Is
tunnel
there
ways.
any trap doors up to the bar?
Not that you've been able to find thus far, but again, you've been wary, so you haven't really traveled too far into, like, possibly dangerous spaces. But once you've mustered the crew, we can
Our
we can
our
definitely
spirit gets up.
get in. I mean, yeah, you're a little bit more capable. Excuse me, capable.
Confident.
Confident, that's a good word too. So if you look at the map there, you can see that the canal actually runs underneath a large section of that part of the city. In a couple of places it runs under buildings, a couple of places there's bridges, but right near the Crystallis there's actually like a series of structures that are just built over top the canalway. And if you were to look at the Crystallis from the canal, to your left, maybe 30 or so feet, is where it starts to go under buildings. And Alton and Hezrod, you went down the canalway, found a sluice into like the under kind of sewage area underneath the buildings, and were able to access the under tunnels that way. It doesn't look like there's a direct connection that goes straight to where the Crystallis Tavern is located. And when you look at the Crystallis Tavern, compared to all of the other structures, it is very much out of place. It stands about 40 feet tall, made entirely out of wood, very old, rustic-y kind of structure-wise, and there's like a decent amount of space around it that's been cleared. The best way I can kind of explain it to you, like visually, is that the buildings around it are stone, the mycelium brick and stuff, like very, just structured buildings. Then there's this space, and there's a Wild West like saloon that's just set in the center there.
Nice.
That's the visual I'm trying to convey here.
Yeah, but then when you look directly at it, a tumbleweed always blows across.
Always blows across. You look at your watch, and it's always fine in.
So I let the party know what I've discovered with the at the sewer waste management people. I just relay all that information to them, saying, and then I let them know, hey, if we find any survivors of the work crew, they are going to give us up to 500 gold as long as they're alive for each crew. Now, if they're dead or deceased or moaning and groaning, and we don't think they're going to be alive any much longer, then we'll just take an effect from them or their paperwork. They'll give us half of the bounty on them.
I'm sorry.
250.
Who are we looking for?
250.
Yeah.
The sewer crew, the sewer watchmen.
Oh, city workers.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I'm
City
gonna need a whole
workers.
nother day of the spa after this.
Don't worry, you
Right.
can afford it if we find some alive.
Hezrod's like, it's just mud.
It's poop.
Yeah, we're about to go.
They're the same thing.
No, what he's saying is like he doesn't understand what the big deal about the spa is. It's just mud. Like
I mean, there's mud, and then there's the baths. I didn't even get to take my bath.
oh, well, he doesn't
It
understand
is-
that the spa is about the experience.
Yeah,
He just thinks like
It is
he's like the mud is like
therapeutic.
it.
the relaxation.
He's like, if all you need is mud, I can make you as much mud as you want.
It's therapeutic mud.
Right.
I have an out of character question that's
Shoot.
not mud related
Or poop. Okay.
What?
or poop related. It might be no, it's not poop related.
Good.
So, are the cultists that were hiding out under the Crystallis, were they my cultists?
So, based on everything that you understand, your assumption is no, because the cultists that represent Duron here are not exactly very well organized.
Clearly.
You've heard a lot about the cultists at Crystallis over the last couple of days. Namely, the people who you were with stated that they are charlatans, and they kind of explained that that's about where they're at. Around the Steel District is mainly where these charlatans are located. And according to your conversation with your patron, these charlatans are worshippers of a different demon prince, Alacia, who's the demon prince of lust, and they appear to be trying to make it look like
Got it.
Duron is a baddie.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, he totally is, but, like, he doesn't, like, show it off. Doesn't flaunt it.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, if you do inspect the tunnelways, if you do actually go in there and check it out with them, you would also see the runic markings that you saw before, but you know that that's not something that's being put up by people. That's something that's kind of keyed to the structures that were built. These are kind of integral parts of the buildings. And you would know that they're very old, very ancient Meridian runes that basically protect against divination magics entering into these spaces. You cannot scry someone or like use divination to kind of see inside of the space if you're not here.
Y'all,
Like-
I think these runes are just real old. I don't think that anyone put them here recently.
Does
So, as
everyone
every-
recognize any of them?
Everin Blood, they are definitely Meridian markings, and they definitely were here long before anybody put them up. They are ancient, old glyphs that basically make this space a hard place for inquisitors, Osirian inquisitors, to detect.
So as everybody else kind of like files into the space, Hezron kind of waits a moment, and they're all like saying, you know, this and that about the runes or whatever. And then after a while, Hezron goes, "Does anyone else smell that?"
No one else smells that.
The poop.
No, not the poop.
I smell
piss?
mud on you.
And as
I
you're
didn't
kind
get to take the bath.
as you're kind of focused on the frustration there for a moment, Hezron, I need you to make a history check.
I got a 12.
It's not good enough.
Damn.
I'm
Anybody
trying to decide
else?
if I want to use my inspiration for that. You know what? Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's just
The smell, this kind of strange scent that seems to be coming from these runes, the more you think on it, the more you remember it. This smell was the same smell that was present when you entered in past the Baron's tomb into that secondary space behind the mirror. When you entered into that space where the Montoulet ancients were present and held up. And when the floor gave way around you and you saw the sight of that massive thing in the distance in this extra dimensional space, that smell was most powerful there. Those runes smell like whatever end that was happens to smell like.
But why can't anyone else smell it? I
Nobody
don't
else
get it.
catches it, yeah.
Some of us don't need to breathe.
Some
mean,
of
that is a fair
some,
point.
some of us breathe through our smelling holes. Some of us don't.
Some of
So
us are holding our noses so we don't have to smell anything down here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It smells like Doki, Hezron. It smells like Doki.
So,
Gorder's
no.
gonna need to take a bath to get back into the spa.
so I
Smells like rubbing alcohol.
so I asked Golradir, hey, isn't your wife named Estella?
Yes.
So why is Fiona asking about your wife to me?
Apparently.
I know we do the same type of work, but is something going on?
Well, according to her, there's a hit out on her, and of course, you know that's never good. So,
You want me to look into it and ask my family if there's anything going on?
I mean, you could, but I don't know if the association would be the smartest for you.
Yeah.
Oh, your decision. I wouldn't mind the information at all.
Hmm.
And
Let me
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as you're having this conversation, you are just kind of standing in the tunnelway, kind of like having just entered in, investigating the runes. What I will state for Alton and Hezrod, you've kind of done some kind of, scouting work, but not gone too far into this space. And just based on the area that you've surveyed, there's about 8 options to kind of go from this space to somewhere else. A very large kind of network of tunnels beyond this point.
Do we see any like markings on walls or feet
Nope.
footprints up on the ceiling too? Because people are weird.
It's a very good thought, but no, there are no markings that appear to be present.
Okay.
Is Fiona there?
Mhm.
Hezrod kind of, after thinking about the smell and where he remembers it from, he's kind of flabbergasted and doesn't really know how to like investigate this further. So he looks at Fiona and he says, "Hey, Fiona, can you do that thing with your eyes? The thing where you see stuff?"
She just kind of smiles. You mean detect magic? Yes.
Yes.
Right. And she just kind of looks forward and then checks the area for any kind of residual.
So when you cast Detect Magic, you immediately start to see kind of pulsing throughout the stonework of the space. And then it starts to grow brighter. And then it starts to grow in its brightness and continually growing until you are literally blinded by magical auras. You cannot see while you have the Detect Magic spell active because it's literally just a mass of coloration. You can see
what have I done?
You can see blurs of blue, blurs of purple, and blurs of kind of a strange yellowish color present throughout. But it's absolutely bright, vibrant versions of those colors that are literally just assailing your eyes.
Is that underneath the ruin or
That's inside the tunnelways where you found the markings.
Okay.
Jesus.
Now, is any of the you said there's eight
I'm a fucking
different
idiot.
tunnels.
Yeah, there's 8 different tunnels.
I know
Is one
exactly
brighter?
Oh no, she can't see. She couldn't tell you there's a tunnel. She literally cannot see past.
Oh, I didn't know if she like looked around or something and she was like, it's brighter over here.
No, it's literally everything here is magic.
Josie, I'm so sorry.
She
Close
just
your eyes.
like kind of immediately closes her eyes and just like takes a step back from
Have
the
you ever-
force of it all.
Have you ever looked at the sun and like close your eyes and like can still see the sun like on your eyelids? It's that, only it's
bright
like
light.
purple, blue, yellows that are just like swimming in your eyelids. Like, and as you're kind of like blinking it away, like eventually you can start making out shapes.
I take Fiona's hand and says, "It's okay. I'm here for you."
It immediately swats it away. And like rubs at her eyes and just kind of like mutters, "Okay, I guess I'll do this old-fashioned way." And try to then study the symbols without any magic present.
You very clearly recognize them. They are the ancient runes and glyphs of the Meridian. So the same thing I've said several times. Yes, they are very much a permanent fixture of the Undercity of Nock. And you would also know from your studies, having history trained, that these are all throughout Osiria because Meridians lived inside of societies underneath polite society. Basically, the cults would pretend to be worshippers of Atavius in the light, and then in their home lives, they would be connected with other cultists through these network of tunnels underneath the cities.
Would she know from the symbology and just like the history that these were like the death cults that we faced off against?
They are not the death cult that you faced off against. No. The Meridian cults are very much older, and they're not a death cult, they're an undeath cult. They worship undeath. So it's very different. Whereas these death cults want people to die and death to happen, the Meridian take on Allowane, or the Allowane Ex Magre, is very much a immortality and the destruction of the law of death through undeath.
They want people to undie.
Yes.
Right.
They want
So
everyone to undie.
I made a mistake
Okay.
by asking you to do
Yeah.
that, and I'm sorry.
Can
This
does
blocks against
Avron?
divination magic. Hey, can you cast divination magic on
Right.
that?
Exactly. Hey, do you mind if
Oh,
Derp? But to be fair, Hezrod didn't know that's what the runes and stuff did, and he didn't really know that that's how.
I will say too for you, Josie, if you want to look into it. But the colors that I mentioned are very important.
Would Avron know, like, whether or not he can activate these runes?
They're active. They are go time.
Oh,
They are
sorry.
not. Yeah, they
Deactivate.
so real quick, just to put it all to bed regarding the runes, because it seems like we haven't exactly grasped how this works. I just want to make sure that we do. They are permanent fixtures of the tunnelways. They bar anyone from outside divining anything that is inside of it, inside of the network. They are
Yes.
ancient old. They cannot be removed. They cannot be destroyed. You can chip at them, break them, whatever you want.
Right.
They hover in air in the space that you leave behind.
So that smell that Hezrod was smelling, is it coming from a particular direction?
It's the runes. It's like if you were in a
What?
field of flowers, these
Why?
runes have that scent to them.
What? Why? Like,
I
I
It's
don't.
a flower for you.
I'm trying
know,
to.
Chad.
I'm trying to figure out
Why?
what it means.
I don't
I'm
know,
trying to
Chad.
figure out what it
What
means
does it
because
mean?
Hezrod,
Why?
like,
Why though?
right.
Why?
So it's not like there's not like the way you described it. So it's not like it's not like one of these doorways is a portal to this weird.
No.
whatever.
No. It's like the
It's not like the
magic of
smell
that.
is like wafting in.
It's like the
But I'm
magic
also
of
trying
that
to figure out.
space is very similar to the magic that these runes are.
It's old. It's old
Okay,
as fuck.
so I see. So that whatever environment that was that we ended up in is very similar to this one.
Yes.
So to the point where it's like whatever environment that was also kind
Old
of
as fuck.
hostile to magic and
It's almost like the magic would have been made by the same kind of sources.
right. Okay.
Sorcery.
Right.
So are we going after the
All right,
same?
I'm just working it out, but I'm trying to right. So then he kind of nudges Fiona again. He says, "This room, this magic has a smell about it. You don't smell that?"
No, and I'm not going to because I don't want. I don't trust you at this moment. So I'm just going to keep walking.
Do you remember when we crossed that bridge and saw the giant flaming eye in the void?
Yes, that is burned into my memory.
It smelled the same way. It smelled just like this room.
Right. Well, she kind of like reaches out a tentative hand toward one of the runes. And although she's like very confident this isn't gonna work, she out of curiosity more than anything else, and to test out her own magic, she casts dispel. Dispel magic.
Okay. Yeah, you watch the spell basically just fizzle. Like you can see the effects of the spell take, hold on nothing, and then just kind of fizzle. But the runes remain.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, as I said, like when you were kind of blinding yourself by staring into the sun, just to make sure we're clear, there were blue colors, purple colors, and yellow colors. You would note that yellow is something that kind of sits between enchantment and evocation. Purple is something that sits between necromancy and illusion. But its brightness makes it very clear that it was illusion. And blue is abjuration.
Has anyone tried poking the wall?
Oh, Hezrod hit it with an axe.
If those schools help you identify what's going on with the magic. If
I
not,
don't think that.
go ahead.
Yeah, Malika would say, I really think we're. I think the purpose and the placement of these ancient magics, I don't know if it's relevant to our mission. I am a bit low on coin, and Alton said that there's corn to be made.
We're not
Is
making it
that
standing.
here?
I
So-
was thinking the same thing. I don't think this is relative to finding the Lady of the Deep. However,
The
I am
cultists
low
were
on
probably-
coin as well.
Yeah, the cultists were probably meeting down here to take advantage of the runes. So
Okay.
they could meet in secret, away from prying eyes.
Hmm.
If you
Hezrod would explain that in Hezrod words, but
shift
Gotcha.
gears and are going into full let's find what we can, this is where we enter a skill challenge. I need everyone in the party to make an investigation roll, or a perception roll, or a survival roll. Your choice. Depending on how many successes you get in a specific skill determines what happens first. So, pick your skill and roll.
Sorry, perception, survival, and what was the third?
Perception, survival, investigation.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on perception.
Okay.
I don't have perception. Oh, I do. But I got a good investigation, so
Okay.
Do that.
Hezrod is smelling and licking the walls.
Okay. So the DC was 13 for the first bit, and it looks like the majority of you have succeeded in that regard. So, with that being said, you identify of the 8 passageways, 2 seem to actually have a purpose. One leads directly underneath the Crystallis Tavern.
ooh.
It seems that directly underneath the Crystallis Tavern, there is a secret door at the end of the passageway that you identified to lead to that point. That secret door appears to be, according to what you can tell, locked from the other side. And it doesn't seem like there's any means for you to open it on this side. It does look like there's one of those slidey holes, though. So, like, if someone were on the other side and you were to knock, they could, answer it.
Let's knock.
If you knock on the door, nothing happens.
Okay. Do we have to have a secret phrase or something?
It doesn't seem...
Alakazam!
If you had to venture a guess, you're pretty sure that everyone that was in there is probably not there anymore.
Okay.
It's empty. As it should be.
The other passageway descends down further into the earth. Now you can tell that you're not going below the surface too far, because Nock is actually built on a massive hill. So you're actually just going into the hill. And you do come to a point where you identify that there are other pathways. At that point, you again can make a perception, investigation, or survival check. But also at this point, I will allow you to choose any other skill of your choice to help with the situation as it stands. Now, what I mean by that is if you can think of something that you would be doing that would pertain to another skill, that would assist in this matter, you can put it forward. Now, the tunnelways here are a lot different. They're not as neatly, ornately kind of set up for the passage of people who are bipedal. There's a lot of jumps and areas to kind of maneuver here. It's not as nice as it was up above. So, with that being said, choose your skill.
Do we see any from the sewer guard workmen, sewer watch? Do we see any movement?
No,
throughout there.
No, there's no other people so far that you found.
Is there any moss or lichen or some other kind of plant growing under there?
There's actually no vegetation.
Huh. That's interesting. For a shit sewer.
Yeah, there's actually, at this level that you kind of descended down to, it doesn't smell bad either. It just feels like you're in some sort of dungeon, not a sewer
You do
anymore.
now.
So we're investigating the activity of the death cult that was down here.
Yep.
Trying to
That's what
see
you
where they were hold up and what they were getting up to?
Yeah, your investigation is kind of twofold.
Okay.
It's that, and it's also find the patrols of the sewer watchmen of House Harrigan and try and.
Okay. Well, if there's any dead bodies down here, which I'm assuming the death cults would probably have lying around.
Yeah.
Undeath cult.
Oh, so this is not like, so this is a different kind of death what, like a, okay.
This
I don't
is a
think
death
no.
adjacent
not-
cult.
This
It's
is a
not an
different,
undeath cult. It's not
So
an
th-
undeath cult.
is this a cult that is related
Hold on.
to the cultists that were doing the
I
Lady
tr-
of the Deep?
I tried.
Or-
I tried.
I got you.
I'm going to lay it out for you, Chad. All of it. Ready?
I
I'm gonna
thought
do it-
I was
No,
after one kind of
I'm gonna do
death
it.
cultist.
I'm gonna do it chronologically, so you got it. There's a lot going on here. I just want to make sure you're clear, okay? And then this is important.
Sorry.
This is important. This is very important.
I have a question.
A long time ago, before the
Right.
city of Nock was the city of Nock, there was a village somewhere around here.
Right.
People who were cultists who worshipped a god of undeath built these tunnelways in the hill so that they could hide away from the prying eyes of magic and keep away from the Inquisition, an order of Osiria that hunts down people who do not worship the warring triumvirate and kills them all.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. Those people since migrated from here to a land known as Dark, far to the north. They've got their own civilization and culture that's built on a cult. They left all the tunnels behind because they no longer live here. The
Right.
tunnels go unused, but are sometimes picked up by people who use them opportunely and are wishing to hide themselves from the prying eyes of others. One such group happens to be a death cult,
Yes.
but another such group happens to be a death cult. There are two death cults. One is a genuine death cult. They follow Durin Valkard. They are corruption folks. Nobody knows about that one, with the exception of Zizo's character. Then there is the other one, which is the only one to most of you. But it's a bunch of phonies. They're actually a cult to the Demon Prince of Lust. And they're playing it up like they are a death cult to make it look
Gotcha.
like the Durin cult is more important than it actually is for whatever reason. That reason has yet to be identified. But
Man.
you're hunting down a death cult. You do not know it's not a death cult, and it's hiding inside of the old dungeons of an undeath
Right.
cult.
So I'm after a death cult that is actually not the death cult that I'm actually after.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Hezrod's after the death cults that are associating themselves with the Lady of the Deep, and it does not appear that this particular death cult is one
No,
of them.
it does appear that they are.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. The part about like the history and the undead people used to use these tunnels, I understood that part.
Okay.
But you were making it sound like
But everyone's
it was
clear now, right?
a
There's no
gang.
confusion.
it was like
I
a
just
gang
follow the
posing
party.
as a death cult that was associated with a different entity besides the Lady of the Deep. So it's like I'm wasting my time down here chasing the wrong fucking cultists.
But you don't know
But I
that.
could be somewhere else fucking killing the right cultists.
But you wouldn't know that
I've-
even if you were.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of throwing a wrench in it, but I don't think anyone knows that this is a cult associated with the Lady of the Deep. So as far as we all know right now, well, except for me,
Well,
we would except for Malika, everyone is assuming that this is
they would know that
Right.
they're trying to do something with the Lady of the Deep because they found the pearl at the seaside cave. That was something that happened.
Yes, the pearl that was apparently not worth anything.
And it had a fetus in it.
What they don't
That Hezrod stepped on.
What they don't know is the cult that they're hunting down isn't actually a death cult, because when people say death cult, they typically mean people who specifically follow a certain demon prince named Durham.
Got you.
So last
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
So the group has made the association of whoever is hiding out in these tunnels as being related to the Lady of the Deep.
Well, no, you're right. You are right. They don't know that this cult is associated with the people that you murdered back at the lakefront. That's correct.
Right.
It's
So
just
all
also a
Hezrod
death
heard,
cult.
We
right, all
allegedly
Hezrod
murdered.
heard was all Hezrod heard was death cult, and that was enough to get his suspicions up.
But Malika does know that these charlatans are the same.
Right.
That's
While
correct.
Hezrod's still trying to confirm that fact.
Got it.
Well, Malika is not going to confirm anything.
Right.
Well, I mean, if these people are posing as death cultists following the Lady of the Deep, they are about to have a really bad fucking day.
They are not posing as following the Lady of the Deep. They are allied to the Lady of the Deep. They're posing as if they are worshiping Malika's patron.
Somebody else.
But
Okay.
they're not
Okay.
actually. So as
Okay.
far as the group knows, they're just random Delph cultists. And as far as Hezrod knows, it has nothing to do with the Lady of the Deep. So
At this juncture, it could though. Because they are also a death cult.
We finna find out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I see that I've got some rolls here. 25 perception from.
I'm sorry, you were asking about skill checks.
So you can make a perception, survival, or investigation, or you can try and use another skill to have benefit if you can narratively describe how it would help down in this environment.
Okay, so I have one of those. Although
Okay.
I suppose that might be okay. So I was gonna suggest nature,
Yeah.
death cultists, and if we are potentially, if the people we're looking for are dead,
Okay. Well,
Hezrod's gonna kind of look for like small sewer scavengers, the sign of scavengers, kind of.
make a nature roll.
Is the smell still going for Hezrod?
The ozone smell is still present wherever there are the markings. But
Right.
I will
sure
note
it's just gonna be everywhere.
the three main keen-eyed individuals are Alton, Fiona, and Colradier. They're very clear, and every time Malika kind of loses her way, kind of gets lost and focuses, trying to figure out what's going on, and Avrin same, they kind of get pulled along. The main thing that Hezrod starts picking up on is there are no animals or creatures. There's no life down here. None. Not even like bacterium, not even spiders, not even like anything. It's completely stagnant. But what you do notice is the water is still moving. And water always moves towards an outlet. And so you understand that moving with the water is a smart idea to find a possible exit. And keeping with it is a good idea. Great. In that process too, eventually you find a very massive open circular chamber. In the center of the chamber is a massive pit, like a well. The water flows into it, but it also flows around it. It seems to exit in only one specific position, other than down in the hole, and that's out, basically across from where you enter into it. There are a number of different exits out of this space, and as you kind of start realizing, where you're at, and start thinking about it based on how far you've traveled, you're pretty sure that you are somewhere closer to the center of the city. Like you've moved inwards towards the center of the city. Not the direct center of the city, just closer to it from the Crystallis. Kind of like you've, come down that way. Fiona, make a history check.
Gotcha. History.
Damn, you rolling hot tonight, folks. It's a natural 20 with a 27 total. So you actually recognize exactly where you're at based on what you're
Nice.
looking at and where you're kind of standing. You would know that there are a number of these recesses, these open chambers, and you would know that these were built in olden times to act as reservoirs for water for very important houses or very important buildings. You currently are standing underneath the Hopler Museum, which is here on the map.
Are we going to have a night at the museum?
If Fiona has any sense, she'll keep Hezrod way away from the museum.
Yeah.
Well, our actual mission, like, how close are we exactly?
You know that there's there are two ways out of here. There's the passageway that seems to lead more in towards the center of the city, because you, with that roll, you're able to tell exactly where you are. It's like someone put a "you are here" sign in this space, and you're looking at it, and no one else can see it. But you know that if you follow the waterway that goes like at the same level that you're currently on, you're just going to end up inside the center of the city, like the actual center of the city in Rosnald and Alistair's territory. But you know for a fact that it's probably not that way, because you know that their under tunnels are well defended, unlike the other houses. They've been here. They've been here the longest. Then there's the pit before you that descends down. It does look like there is some handholds. Does look like it is a possibility to climb down it, but probably unlikely. And then there's access points above you, kind of like ladders and sewers, or like tunnelways that lead up into the museum.
I feel like that's probably the best option, honestly. But Fiona would definitely mention her suspicions about like, you don't think we should go toward the center. This probably seems the best, the Hopler Museum, unless anyone has any objections or alternative plans that I don't know about. She
Well, as
specifically
far as-
turned to Avran.
Oh, Avran, always getting into trouble. Hell, he's probably
That's-
still half lit.
I'd say at this point, I'm just along for the ride.
I'm just toting along too.
No plans.
I mean, I had appointments at the spa, but I guess I'll reschedule.
Well,
So, are we taking Hezrod to a museum? Is that what I'm hearing?
you can do that, or you can descend into the pit. Either option's valid.
Is you said the pit's full of water?
The pit is probably about 60 or 70. Does anybody have dark vision greater than 60 feet?
No.
I don't think I do.
How much do the goggles give?
60
Wait.
feet.
I got 60.
Not great at all.
It's pitch black beyond 60 feet. The water descends down on one side, and then the water kind of goes around the outside of the ring of the well. You can see that there are handholds, which are basically kind of like inset ladders on both sides that descend down. But it's pitch black beyond like 60 feet. You can't see anything. If you want to do some light shenanigans, you can, but it's dark.
Yeah, if there's like
Yeah,
any
we could do
pebbles
that.
or just like trash or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cast
Yeah.
light, chuck that shit on.
Find a loose piece of stone,
Yeah.
cast light, throw it in. You watch it descend. It drops about 100 feet before it hits water. And at the base of the well, you can see a ring around the water pool that you saw kind of splash with the light. The ring in question looks like it's like a footing. And on the opposite sides of where the ladders would be, so behind the waterway or behind where the water's spilling, and on the other side of the underside there, or the bottom there are doors.
Hmm. Let's
Doors,
tie
you
some
say.
ropes together and go down that way.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, there's handholds, but I see what you mean. Like it could be slippery. So
Is it like? Does it look like a good body of water, or is it just like a puddle?
It's like a well. But the water's spilling down from the space above into it, so it's not filling. So
Right.
it must be going somewhere underneath the surface of the water there.
Okay.
Hezrod, jump down in there.
no, it's not full of water. So if he's gonna go
Oh.
down, he's probably gonna give a rope to Avran.
It's also a
Like, we got
100-foot
that
drop, and
Yeah.
water's
I mean,
not.
Yeah, Fiona will just look at that in like disdain and just say, "Well, I'll wait up here and let me know what you see, and otherwise I will be going upward."
Okay. How about this?
Go,
You send-
Hezrod. I have the rope.
No,
Okay,
you
how about
send
I
me-
just cast that flying spell on myself and take
Oh.
everybody down there.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could
Where's the
just
elk?
climb.
Fiona, there's a ladder, a
Don't we
primary
have
ladder
those pittons?
that goes up into kind of like a tunnelway, like kind of like in the ceiling. And at the top of that, it looks like it comes up onto a landing, is what you can tell. So basically, you'd climb up and kind of like come up onto land.
Don't we
Okay.
have those pythons? Or
No, you're overcomplicating this. This will be over in a snap.
I think she'll
one-
just wait on the like right in front of the ladder and just kind of wait until this happens.
Okay.
We're doing anything else.
Azrod, you're casting Gist of Orzova.
Yes. And I'm gonna take Alton down to the door first.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna come back up for Avran,
Okay.
and then take Avran, and then after
Alton, you're
that-
down at the bottom. There are two doors. There's one behind the waterway and one on the opposite side of where the water's coming down.
Are they
don't-
locked?
Also, you have dark vision or no?
No.
Okay, so it's
I don't-
completely
I
pitch
don't-
black. So you have some sort of light source. You'd have to.
Yep.
Let's just assume
Somebody
it's
casted
light on us.
prestidigitation.
or
Yeah.
light, yeah.
Yeah.
But since you have a light source, what you're noticing is this water is crystal clear, and you can see down to the bottom of it. It's about 30 feet down, and it's at the very bottom. You can see that the entire ground is shining back at you. It's not something that you saw when the light rock went in, but now that you're kind of hitting at it at an angle, like around the outside of it, there appear to be just a bunch of coins.
Because it used to be a well of some sort. Hey guys, there's coins down here. They could be old and worth some money.
Pick them up.
Yeah. Can I borrow? Do we have a bag of holding yet? And do you
No.
mind if it gets filled with sewer water?
Hezbollah, how are you
Please.
carrying Avran down? Is
He's
it like
pretty-
fireman's carry or?
No,
Bridal?
he's like you've
Like a
had,
Bridal
baby.
style.
had a rough,
Like a baby.
Hezrod knows you've had a rough time. he notices that you smell like alcohol and like not even like cheap shit. Like he
Yeah,
feels
it's
really
it's
bad.
whatever you can
Right.
get, really.
So when he picks you up, it's like gently, like
Aww,
he's like cradling you in his arms,
it's a little cuddle.
and he says quietly, "Don't worry, it will be okay." And then he hops off the ledge and flies you down.
Oh, thank you.
Says,
Alton.
just look out for Alton while I'm gone.
Based on the coinage, you're probably sure that it's not worth the effort.
The hassle. Okay.
But there are the two doors. Which one do you want to check out?
I just want to see if they're locked or not,
Okay.
but I don't want to open them.
Okay. Do you want to make an investigation check?
Yeah. Let's.
Which door
let's
first?
do
Water
that.
door or non-water door?
We'll do water door first.
Okay.
Come on, submit.
Based on everything you're seeing here, there does not appear to be anything off about the door or anything strange about it, nor does it appear to be locked. And this you said that was the water door, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I'll check the other door while waiting for the rest of the party to come
Okay.
down.
Give me another
Sorry, I'm-
investigation.
Still working on one screen, so it sucks.
No worries.
Ah!
Nice.
So you start detecting this door and just kind of investigating it, and you notice that this door is false. If you were to try and open the door, you're pretty sure that the mechanism at the base of the door would cause the door to slam down on you.
Okay.
And however much weight that would be, it would either crush you or push you into the water, which seems to be the goal of the trap.
I say,
So,
hey
like,
guys, let's
push him
not
into the
open this
water and
door.
Slam down on top of it.
Has anyone touched the water yet?
Nobody's touched the water. The main thing you're noticing, though, is the goal of that trap is to. It's basically not an actual door. It's just a thing that's going to
spring loaded.
To
smash
push you into the water.
to push you into the water.
Okay.
What?
Does
And
anything
there's nothing
happen?
behind that. Can
It
we
doesn't appear to be
disable
an actual door. It's just a trap that
It's
looks
just
like
a
a
trap,
door,
yeah.
Oh,
Just
let's
a big
just.
slab of stone mounted on a wall.
ready to
Does
shoot out at
anything
you.
happen if everyone touches, like, pokes his finger in the water?
It ripples.
Okay.
It's already kind of moving quite a bit because of the waterfall above, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is everybody else
Nothing's-
down, or is Fiona at the?
Fiona's staying at
museum?
the ladder going upwards
Yeah,
into the
she's
museum.
looking down at y'all, just like
She's
I go,
judging us.
Fiona.
Okay.
There's something cool down here for you to check out. It's some magical ruins.
Fiona, what you're noticing is as his voice is ascending up towards you, it's also echoing throughout the tunnel ways around you.
Worst rogue ever.
She'll immediately whisper into her stone, like using the walkie-talkie thing. and
That's what I
say,
did.
No, it's not. You
Is
didn't say
it?
that. You said I yell
Is that
out
what
to
you did?
Fiona.
So she'll use it and respond, let's just, not give away our position. Use these perhaps. Let me know if you'll actually need me. Otherwise, I'll be staying dry.
Can you hear me? Over.
Anywho,
It's pretty dry down here.
Alton, the other door did appear to be a real door, though. The one behind the waterway.
All right, is Hezrod back down here?
I mean, it's after Avran. Who else would be coming? Like Golradir and
Malika.
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 Would Malika
So-
and Golradir come down with us?
I think Golrady would stay up with
Yeah.
Fiona.
What about you, Malika? You gonna be cool or you gonna stay behind?
I feel like they need a brain cell.
We
Fiona's-
got
Fiona's the
okay.
brain cell.
No, we got that. We got that covered. Okay.
Fiona's the one brain cell.
Fiona,
I'll
we
have
need
you know
you
my
down here.
intelligence is 10.
I think I'm gonna no, I'm after these motherfucking cultists. I'm coming down.
Okay.
Nice.
Hezra, darling, can I get a ride?
He however you want him to carry you.
Alton,
Golradir.
what do you
What's
do
up?
next?
Well, once Hezrod's down, I say, hey, this door can open, but I don't know what's on the other side. Let me.
Leave that to me.
If you wanna, I mean, I could go stealthy and go inside. If you
Well,
want.
You'd probably have to lose the light.
Oh, that's true too.
I mean, it's
Malika,
only
Malika will ready herself to, hex the hell out of anything that comes out of there that's
yeah.
hostile.
okay. So,
Hezrod readies himself to cast Eldritch Blast if he sees anything resembling a cultist.
and
So
Avran,
which way does this door open, in or out?
it appears to open in.
All right.
Avron's just gonna get ready to grab Alton by his collar and pull him out.
All right. So I'll open the door and then
No,
I'm out.
the second
No.
you pull the lever and push the door, you hear a click, and the door does not move any further, as if there's a secondary lock system. The second that click happens, I'm going to ask each of you who are in the well what you do next. Starting with Alton, you hear the click. What's your immediate response? Again, no information is being given to you, so if you're trying to find out what's going on, say you're looking around confused. If you try to do something in response, just leap in response to that, tell me what it is.
Well, what I would do is try to investigate. How far open did the door go?
No, you're not getting answers. You push the door open just a little bit, and it clicked. The
Just a
second the
little
click
bit,
happens,
and then it clicked.
Yep.
So can I look up to see if there's any?
So you are taking a second to find out what's going on. Great, that's what you're
Yes.
doing. Hezron,
Yep.
what are you doing the second the click hits?
I'm gonna grab Malika and leap to a safe distance.
Okay.
Actually, I guess I could go 10, 15 feet up. in the
You're
air.
grabbing Malika. That's your action. Avran, what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab Alton and try to shield him if there is something that pops out from the click or from
Okay.
the door.
Fiona, Golradir. Up above, you hear a very grating sound. And they hear it too. They just don't hear it as close because they're not near the top of the well. You watch as massive iron spears slam into a lattice closing off the well. The second that happens, the water that's descending down stops flowing to the outside and begins massively dumping into the well.
Great.
Okay.
Those of you that
Well,
are
I don't know what to
inside
tell
of the
y'all.
well, those of you that are inside of the well see the repercussions of this immediately. It seems whatever was causing the water in the well to stay at a balanced level stops, and the water quickly rises to a height of 5 feet. Alton, water's just splashing in your face as you're looking up because it's coming down in like droves. You feel a hand on your shoulder pull you away. Malika, you're lifted up into the air, and you kind of move away from the water just a little bit, Hezrod, but it is buffeting you enough that you don't really get ground or ascent. Now we're going into an initiative tier that we have to peel through. We are starting with Golradir and Fiona up top.
I mean, the amount of like just secondhand regret, I suppose. She just turns to Golradir and just with like so much sighing, like she cannot have nice things. She looks around desperately for like any switch on her end. Like if anything, maybe she'll probably start climbing higher in hopes that there might be something toward the top.
If you're kind of investigating the top area, go ahead and give me an investigation roll.
Okay.
Go, Fiona.
Let's see.
One brain cell crew.
I love
All right.
how, of course, she's like, yeah, I'll go with them because they need someone.
So you notice you're looking at the mechanism, you're paying attention to it, you're kind of focused on it, and you realize there's no kill switch. There's no easy way out of this. Whoever devised this literally wanted a terminus, and that's it. You do notice that the water's not going to come up into your room and fill out, so you and Golradir are fine. The reason why that's the case is once it gets to the height that it was at, or at the height that it would get up to fill out the entirety of the well, it will just go straight through, out the way it was originally going out, with no issue.
Okay.
So it's basically like you got a cup, right? And then the water is going into it, but it's also
Yeah.
going around it. It stops going around the outside, and now it's just all going in. This is going to fill up and then just go out the way it was going.
She doesn't know if what has happened down there or if they're even capable of hearing this, but she'd take out the stone.
You can see
and
them. They've got light down there.
Okay. So she's saying to the stone, all right, there's a grate that slam shut at the top of the well. You're stuck down there. I'm sorry, but I've checked. I've even used, and the second she says that, she realizes she hasn't. She turns on like detect magic.
You start going blind again. Golradir. What are
That
you
one's
doing?
on you. That one's on you. That's
What are
on
you
you.
doing
I
in
had nothing to do
response?
with it.
Dang.
Sorry, that was one of my favorite moments of all time.
That was great. Just
I don't know
suddenly,
what to do. Ah!
Just like, maybe I can find some way to help.
I forgot. Golradir, what are you doing besides laughing at Fiona up top?
Look at
Hezrod
the
says
grate
move.
to see if it's able to be moved, because you said the spheres
They are
crossed.
spears of metal. They look like they are like complete shafts made out of metal. It looks like they are probably about 3 inches in diameter each, and there are enough of them to create a situation where the lattice leaves open a gap of about 6 inches square, like 6 by 6. So it's a pretty neat kind of lattice, and the metal is, I mean, it's pretty thick. It would definitely be very difficult to kind of break or move out of space.
Hezrod, break down
But-
this door.
Not impossible.
But just an idea. If Fiona and Golradir moved out of this space, in theory, just a theory, and then Hezrod cast a fireball at it, would it melt?
No.
Damn it!
No, it's okay. I can be a lot more conservative than Fireball. I
Okay.
think I've got an idea. It's the first thing I'm gonna try.
That's fine. So the two up top are done. It seems like Hezrod is holding Malika and can operate. as such. So any movement you take will be halved due to the fact that you are carrying Malika.
Right. I'm still on the ground. Okay, so everything, all this stuff happens. There's a click. He grabs Malika.
Tries to lift off, doesn't
away.
really get too far up. Yep.
Right. So here's the thing slammed shut. He looks up. How far above is that thing?
100 feet.
So okay, so there's still too much water coming down for me to try to fly, so I can't really get closer.
Well, no, you can move away from the waterfall. You can move to the other side of the well. That's
And
fine.
then
You can
fly up
ascend.
that way
Yeah,
and
you
get
can ascend.
closer?
You can ascend because you're flying. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Let me check something real quick.
Break the door down.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough movement to get up to where it's within 60 feet of me. Which
No,
is
the
fine. 'cause
door that's down here with us.
You
Yeah.
can break that down. You're more than
Okay.
strong enough to do that. I'm gonna get rid of the thing above us so that you guys don't drown.
Like I said, though, real quick for the people who are door focused, the water filled up to a height of 5 feet, so the door is being hit by the water. Whatever pressure is being exerted by the water is not enough to force the door. So just a heads up.
But isn't some of that water going into that space since it is open?
You would hope so, but it doesn't seem to be changing anything here.
Yeah, maybe there's
'Cause it
nothing
was-
but water on the other side of the door.
Yeah, and it was a door that pushed outward
No.
from the space that they're in, or was it one?
Yeah,
that
it's a
pulled
door that
inward?
pushed outward from the space that they're in. But
Okay.
it's stopped,
Okay.
like maybe
Yeah.
an inch and a half, and then clicked, and hasn't moved since.
Yeah.
Do
Um,
I guess it's Hezrod.
Yeah, so Hezrod's gonna let go of Malika. He's gonna try to move up as high as he can to get as close to the grate as he can.
Your flight speed is your base movement, right?
I believe so.
I need something
Fly
more.
speed equal to base movement speed.
I wish I had the music from Sonic the Hedgehog. Boom, 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 boom.
How how
Yeah,
how
right,
tall
like
is
running out
Alton?
of oxygen.
Yeah. How tall is
I
Alton?
am.
Like 3
I
something feet.
am.
If he's like 3 feet, he's drowning.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
on
accurate.
top
Yeah.
of your back, my man.
That
Oh,
didn't happen.
okay.
That's what I did.
No, I
No.
pulled you out and shielded you.
You are actually submerged. That's not an incorrect
I
statement.
climbed
You
on
did
top
not.
of.
You did not do that
clutching
because
him.
I asked you what your response was, and it was stare upwards into the water, splashing into your face. That's all that's happened so far.
You're clutching him to your chest to save him, but really you're just like holding him underwater.
I'm drowning.
I'm
I'll
clawing at his
save
face.
you.
Well, real quick, Hezrod, you ascend 30 feet.
Right.
Do you want to dash to get further up?
I mean, I'm gonna. It doesn't really matter. God dang it. Do what about Eldritch Blast? What's the range on that?
120 feet.
120.
Okay.
Yeah. Real quick, note though, there's no vision on up above. You have 60-foot dark vision, so you don't have like a line of sight on what you're shooting at. There's no light
That's
coming from
fair.
above.
Yeah, I might as well just use dash. But as he dashes up higher to get closer to the grate,
Mhm.
I want to get about within 50 feet of it.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
can get with a 60-foot movement, you can get to 40 feet away from the grate.
Right. So what he says to them is, "Whatever happens, keep your heads above water."
Great.
And of course, like there's rungs on the side, so they don't have to worry about like treading water. They can climb up as the water gets higher.
That's great. So, the other person who had agency down below would have been Avran. You grabbed a hold of Alton, you pulled him. It became very hard to pull him because he's now being submerged and you're basically trying to drag him through the water. But you do have enough strength to manipulate Alton without issue.
Okay, so I'm just going to pull Alton out of the water and put him on my shoulder or something.
Okay.
I was going to tell him, hold on! And then I'm just going to try... I'm going to try to break open the door that we're down here with.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
Okay.
Are you using Anton as a battering ram?
No. 21.
You're pretty sure that door's not moving.
Fuck. Okay. Shit.
Now,
That's your action.
Do I gotta
Yep.
break everything around here?
hold on.
I'm gonna start moving on the rungs to go upward.
You move over to where the ladders are, and as I explained, their space is set inside of the stone. And you notice that they are all now complete sheets of steel.
Oh, fuck.
Well, it could be worse. You could have been trying to climb when that happened.
True. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna look at Alton. And I'm gonna tell him, "You need to climb now." That's it.
Climb what?
Oof.
So
the rocks.
the first
fucking
person
do
who
some rogue
was
shit.
dumped or kind of given a non-option would have been Malika. Malika, what would you like to do in response to being left behind by the flying fishmen?
Yeah, I mean, I could have helped you Eldritch Blast the fuck out of that thing. But what we're gonna do is Malika,
Door.
in a totally reasonable, doing a totally reasonable thing. She pulls out her prayer beads, and she starts praying, and sends up dancing lights up to the grate,
Okay.
so that we'll be able to aim. And does she have time to run over to the wall and start scaling?
There's no means of climbing anymore. There's no. It's completely just well wall. So unless you have a climb speed, you can't do so. There's no.
Just tread water.
I mean, you could, as a part of your movement, technically you could make a strength athletics check, but because it's a flat surface, it is a DC 25. So unless your athletics bonus is a +5 or higher, don't even roll because you can't succeed.
No.
Oh, you mean something like Pythons?
Oh, you can start climbing like that if you want to. If you think you can
I have
outpace the
Python.
water.
Dude, that's amazing.
Okay,
That's
and then
a
Alton,
great callback.
you are on Avran's shoulder. It is pretty good, yeah. Alton, you are on Avran's shoulder, so you are not submerged. You're about 7 feet off of, or 2 feet off of the water now.
How far am I away from this door?
It is right in front of. Well, no, Avran moved away from the door. So if you are on Avran, you're about 10 feet away from it now.
I was going to start investigating the door to see if there's any other mechanism that goes with it.
You could use your action to investigate. You're on Avran's back anyways. It's not like you're doing anything else. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Now, this is made at disadvantage due to the fact that half of it is underwater. $16 is a failure.
No! My 28 would have worked, but
It might have worked. But yeah, there's a lot of water in the way. And also, you tried before and failed.
If only you had a potion of advantage.
If only you had bought a... You know what? I'm helping you out here, Zijo. I'm helping you out. This is marketing. This is the commercial right here. Like,
I was about to say, your life is a
This- It's
commercial.
a fucking
Okay.
commercial.
So everyone's acted. This is where it gets interesting. 10 more feet of water fill in very quickly. And Avran, you feel something brush against your leg.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, eels.
Okay.
That is where we'll end the session for
Oh,
tonight.
shit.
Thank you
fuck.
for watching those that did.
Ah!
And we will pick
I
up
knew.
next session as the lurker in the depths.
I
Well,
knew
no,
there was something.
just a creature in the water. It doesn't have like a cool name or title. It's just a thing. But
I knew there was something in that water.
Why would I
fucking
want?
knew it.
Yeah, why would I want to push you into it if there wasn't something in there? But anyway, thanks for playing. Thanks for watching, and we will pick up next Friday. We will be playing next Friday. See you guys.